Game 7 of the AHL's Eastern Conference Finals tonight as the Hartford Wolfpack host the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins at the Hartford Civic Center with a berth in the Calder Cup Finals at stake. The Wolfpack last night in Wilkes-Barre forced a Game 7 2 third-period goals. A break there for Jed Ortmeyer, and then Corey LaRose burying a pass from Garth Murray, and that was it, a 4-1 win for the Pack. And here we are tonight with a decisive Game 7. Hello again, I'm Bob Crawford alongside Brian Shackman. And Brian, all the cliches come out tonight. This is what you play for.
I can't wipe the smile off my face. Let's face it, in pro hockey, outside the Stanley Cup Finals and the Calder Cup Finals, there's nothing bigger than a Game 7 in the conference finals. And this is what you play for. This is what we do. This work was what we watch hockey for. It's exciting. You lose, you go home, your season's over.
Jason LaBarba really rebounded last night in Wilkes-Barre, and so much of what the Wolfpack's success has been this year has been due to his efforts.
Yeah, obviously the league MVP this year with 13 regular season shutouts. Struggled in Game 5, but came back with 26 saves in Game 6. And you know what? Wilkes-Barre's going to try to get him moving. We'll watch how he does on those first saves and with those rebounds to see how sharp he is and confident. On the flip side, Andy Chiodo, this kid just turned 21 a month ago, and he's in net. He wasn't even the first goalie drafted in the franchise of the Pittsburgh Penguins last year. It was Marc-Andre Fleury. I think it's a bit of a risky move putting him in there, but you know what? He's done great so far in the playoffs, and I think he should probably be strong again tonight.
On the offensive side, the Wolfpack managed to score 4 goals last night without getting a point from Joseph Bale, and that's got to be a good sign for them.
Absolutely, but this kid is so talented. Everybody points to him, and we talked about it in Game 5 that they needed help from other people, and they got it from Chad Wiseman, but he's leading the team in overall scoring. He has tied for the league lead in postseason goals, and he's just so talented. Came over in the Kovalev trade with Montreal, and he's a guy we will watch.
Tom Kostopoulos, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin, has been steady as well, leading them in scoring in the series and leading the whole AHL in points.
Yeah, he played 60 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he has 20 points in this postseason. Great leader, had an amazing pass to help Shane Endicott win Game 5, and he's a special player, a little different, a little more grittier than Bale, but he can still get it done.
Hartford and Wilkes-Barre Scranton in Game 7 tonight. It's the third Game 7 in Wolfpack history, and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are trying to win their second Game 7 on the road in the state of Connecticut in these playoffs. The opening faceoff is next from the Hartford Civic Center. The winner goes to the Calder Cup Finals and faces Milwaukee. The loser goes golfing. Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals tonight at the Hartford Civic Center. Hartford Wolfpack and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. Wes McCauley is your referee. The linesmen Jonathan Morrison and Frank Murphy. The face-off between Corey LaRose and Shane Endicott. In the center circle, Endicott had the game winner in overtime here in Game 5 to force the Wolfpack's backs to the wall. LaRose had a huge goal in the third period last night in Game 6. LaRose wins the draw, and Feder Tootin lifts it into the Wilkes-Barre Scranton zone. Back goes David Kochi to Rob Scuderi. The Wolfpack come out hitting as both LaRose and Garth Murray throw big forechecks. Now Tootin is forced back into his own zone. He's on defense with veteran Jamie Pusher. Tootin pressured by Endicott. Tom Kostopoulos is there as well. Number 29, the Penguin captain. LaRose back checking for the Pack. Now Pusher has it. He will send Joseph Bale to center. He guns it in on goal. Andy Chiodo, his first save. Here's LaRose's drive, and Chiodo has a little trouble with that, but he's able to squeeze it. Meanwhile, Kochi pushes and shoves with Garth Murray in behind the cage.
Even in comparison to Game 5 when we were together up here, Bob, nowhere near that kind of emotion in Game 5, and only in a few spots. Already everyone knows what's at stake, and if you saw in that last sequence too, the Wolfpack are going to throw the puck on Andy Chiodo whenever they can. Good start for the Wolfpack. Physical, they're into it, they're focused. They were in position in the D zone. Watch this dump in by Bale. Boom, low angle shot, but you don't know what's going to happen, and it actually was a little bit scarier for Andy Chiodo than anyone thought.
David Kochi, Czech-born defenseman, 6'6" and 228 pounds. Just getting the puck on net from wherever, Brian, and that's never a bad idea in the postseason, especially in a game like this. There's Brooks Orpik for the Penguins to Colby Armstrong. One of several former Pittsburgh Penguins first-round picks on this Wilkes-Barre Scranton team. Play offside now. Ken Jernander out with Dominic Moore and Jed Ortmeyer on this Wolfpack line.
We take a look at Ryan Whitney. He left Boston University after 3 years to turn pro. He's a first-round pick. Missed a couple games. There were some rumors about what his injury were. Of course, the playoffs, we can't confirm anything. But huge return for the Wilkes-Barre Penguins because he's solid, he's talented, and he can move the puck from the blue line, which is so valuable at this level.
Yeah, I think when the Iron Curtain fell, Brian, the KGB, or all the old operatives, became in charge of concealing injury information in professional hockey in the playoffs. Here's a chance for Jason McDonald. He moves a drive, and Kyoto makes that save. McDonald had the first goal in last night's Game 6. He's got the puck again. And he had Chad Wiseman open down deep, but Whitney, of whom you were just speaking, blocked the pass. Now centering feed is intercepted by Lane Ulmer, but he can't get it out. Held in by Orpik. His pass is blocked by Ulmer. Ulmer, Wiseman, and McDonald out there on this line for the Wolfpack.
Right now, Wolfpack really controlling the pace of this game. If they can keep Wilkes-Barre under 30 shots, they give themselves a great chance to win.
McDonald with some open ice down the wing, shoots, and that misses wide. Rebound held in by Jamie Filipowicz. Now it's McDonald. Able to center it through Alan Nasruddin, but Jeff Paul crashing down from the blue line, couldn't get to it. Now Paul holds it in. Alex Giroux being bothered by Chris Beach. Giroux able to tip it in front, but it's cleared to the near side by Nasruddin. Paul snaps it through the side, right on, and Kyoto able to make the stop. And the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, to the delight of the fans, will be forced to take an icing here.
No shots thus far for Wilkes-Barre, 5 shots for Hartford, and it's definitely in the advantage of the other end of the ice. You look at Michel Therrien, coach with the Montreal Canadiens. Those of you at home who know the name and the face, doing a very good job taking over this team from Glenn Patrick, and has them very playoff tough and playoff ready. But Hartford has a bit of an advantage. They've never lost a Game 7. The last time, Bob, and you know this, they won a Game 7 in 2000 in the conference finals. They went on to win the Calder Cup.
That was an unbelievable Game 1 on an overtime goal against the Providence Bruins by ex-Bruin Terry Virtue, as the Penguins go offside, and Eric Malash and Filipowicz have a bit of a get-together. Virtue throwing the game-winning goal into the net off of a former Hartford Wolfpack, Peter Ferraro. A lot of staring down there, but it looks like everyone will be held apart.
You'll see the same in the Tampa Bay Calgary matchup of the Stanley Cup. A lot of face washing, not a lot of fighting, because no one wants an instigator penalty. And here's Pittsburgh going on the offensive. Good hit by Filipowicz. And, you know, he's a tough kid, went to the University of New Hampshire, and tempers are going to be flaring.
2 ex-college guys. There's Malash, who's in that shot as a product of Ohio State University. He was born in Montreal. We had his dad, Gilles Malash, on the air a couple of telecasts ago. Currently the Pittsburgh Penguins goaltending coach and scout.
I love what he said about his mom and his choice.
That was a great line, wasn't it? Mom didn't want me to be a goalie. Dad would have been happy with it. And he's had a good series, Brian.
Yeah, he's been strong. And to be honest, they need to, guys like Malash need to buzz the tower. What I mean by that, they need to really go at Jason LaBarbera and create havoc, make him move. And right now, they can't get anything generated in tight in the Hartford end.
Moore and Malash on the face-off. Malash centers Armstrong and Matt Murley on a line that has a lot of jam for the Penguins. Here's Tootin setting the play. To Pusher, who won a Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings earlier in his career. This is a set play as the Wolfpack get a forward down the near side and nullify the icing. Ortmeyer hands it off to Jernander. And he'll wind it deeper to Moore, trying to shed Malash. Now it's Jed Ortmeyer. Bumped by Nasruddin, kept in by Pusher. He winds and fires, but that's blocked on its way to the net as Malash got in the way. Now clearing try intercepted by Ortmeyer. He had the winner last night. Tootin has it poked past him by Armstrong. Armstrong slips past Jernander as well. Here's a drive right on by Malash, and LaBarbera is tested on the first Wilkes-Barre Scranton shot.
Good first save. Maybe would have liked to control the rebound a little bit better, but glad he's got one under his belt so he can get focused in this game. Sometimes get a little quiet down the other end.
Guillaume Lefebvre to Matthew. He'll throw it on goal and it goes wide. Held in by Orpik. He's bumped by Ballet. Now Murray looks to clear before he gets hit by Lefebvre. Hartford's going to be called for icing as Orpik beats Ballet to the puck.
You know, one more item on Jason LaBarbera. He talked about going into talked to Coach Ryan McGill and Nick Fatiu about his performance in Game 5. He didn't feel like he played as well as he could have, and he said that conversation made a difference, and he took it upon himself to accept responsibility for that Game 5 situation, and it showed a lot, I think.
And he was lights out last night in Game 6. The only goal that Wilkes-Barre Scranton got was off a mad goal mouth scramble. Ballet for the Wolfpack, has a pass blocked down by Peterson. He can't find Kostopoulos, but Endicott will be the first man to it. Endicott bumped by LaRose, keeps it alive. Now to Kostopoulos, he centers one. Peterson circles the goal. Toby Peterson to Endicott. Now it's Kostopoulos as the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins take a page out of the Wolfpack's book and get a good cycle going. Endicott's blast is wide of the mark. First sustained pressure of the contest here by the Penguins. Kostopoulos throws it in front. Bryce Lampman makes a defensive play against Endicott. Lampman has picked up a penalty, it looks like, in the process, though, as Wes McCauley is going to make his first penalty call of the game.
It happens so much in hockey. You get a few breakdowns, you end up with a penalty. And you look at Coach Ryan McGill, he's done a great job, and you and I talked about it off the air, that he really treats every game as if it's the same. And obviously the emotion of a Game 7, you're not going to be able to contain some of your guys with the emotions, but he's really, like you said to me off the air, has trickled down the way he handles his team.
First power play of the game goes to Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Lampman, number 26, got the stick up a little. Oh, check that, it's Nicolette. I thought they were getting Lampman, but Nicolette for getting the stick up a little bit high. I thought it was going to be a slash on Lampman for trying to whack the puck away from Endicott. In any case, Wilkes-Barre Scranton, which really made some hay on the power play in this series at different times, 6 for 33 in the preceding 6 games, will go to work here.
No power play goals in Game 6. They were 0 for 3. But obviously whoever scores first is very important in this Game 7.
Now pass is intercepted by Sorobi. He drops it to Peterson, but his shot is blocked by Jernander. Sorobi turning on the neutral zone now, and in comes Malash. He's got Tootin all over. Filipowicz. Forechecked in the corner by Sorobi. Now Ballet digs it free. Ballet trying to break with more. Ballet is dragged down, and there's going to be a penalty against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. The Penguins have to show the Wolfpack some respect while the Packers shorthanded. Ballet is particularly dangerous, and he drew the penalty there.
If he didn't get dragged down, Ballet would have gone off and helped spring a 2-on-1 break. So it was almost a must-do in terms of Wilkes-Barre, because a 2-on-1 with Ballet would have been dangerous.
So it'll be a minute 9 of 4-on-4 as Kostopoulos goes to the penalty box. And then Hartford will have 51 seconds of power play for their first man advantage of the game.
They've had 2 shorthanded goals, so you're right. Wilkes-Barre really has to respect how they counterattack when they're a man down.
Wiseman, Ballet, Tootin, and Lampman out for the Wolfpack. It's Konstantin Koltsov, Endicott, Rob Scuderi, and Whitney. Not a bad lineup either for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Here's Wiseman to a sharp angle. He shoots it. That misses wide of the cage, held in by Tootin. Over to Ballet. He winds, doesn't shoot, tries to return to Tootin, but right there was Endicott to pick it off. He'll stick handle to center. Aerial pass floats down to the Hartford zone. Koltsov behind the net. On a thwarted front he does. It comes to Whitney. He cuts in, shoots one, and that kick save is made by LaBarbera. Rebound to Ballet. He moves out and dances away from Koltsov. Ballet fires a shot, of the save is made by Kyoto, but the whistle had been blown prior to the shot.
Well, on that first play, Ballet overthought it a little bit and didn't shoot. We look at Andy Kyoto, did a nice job on that last one of coming out and confronting Ballet's shot. But Bob, you know, watching a guy like Joseph Ballet on a 4-on-4, you see how much more open ice it is, and it's just exciting. You see it in overtime at the NHL level and the AHL level. It's just really exciting to see how much room they use.
Ryan McGill directing traffic from behind the Wolfpack bench. 20 seconds still left in the 4-on-4. Filipowicz looking for someone to pass to. Now he's forced back by Malash. Pusher back to Filipowicz. He'll hand back to Pusher. Now Filipowicz to center. Drives it in on goal. The rebound is there, but Moore is beat to it. It's held in by Pusher. Taken away by Boileau as Hartford goes to the power play. Cleared just past Filipowicz. He'll drop it off to Pusher. Now it's Jernander. Scaling it over toward McDonald. He spins back. McDonald all the way across to Jernander. Tries to play it back in front. That got blocked. Held in by Pusher. To Bryce Lampman. Now Jernander drops it back to Pusher to Lampman. Again to Pusher. Now over to Jernander. One-timer wide of the mark. Rebound held in by Pusher. To Lampman. Lampman sends it across the slot, but it's blocked wide. Moore keeps it in. Scuderi intercepts his pass. Can't get it past Pusher. Good play to hold it in. Final 10 seconds of the power play. McDonald hit hard by Nasruddin. Kept alive by Jernander. The power play expiring. Pusher holding, shoots, and that's blocked into the corner. Held in there by McDonald. Penalty is over. McDonald trying to slip it past the Lampman. That doesn't work. And Kostopoulos has it. Get just past him, and Pusher will bang it back into the Penguins' own ice and washed out.
As much as Hartford had pressure, Wilkes-Barre did a nice job of keeping all the Hartford players outside on the periphery. No one really in the crease to bother Andy Kyoto.
Both clubs 0 for 1 on the power play. 3-on-2 here for the Penguins. Endicott shoots one, and LaBarbera slides over to make the save. Can't cover the rebound initially. Now he does. We'll take a break. No score in the first in Game 7. No score in Game 7. 3-on-2 break here for Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
Shane Endicott, who won the game, Game 5. Kostopoulos passed it to him in that situation too. Two guys you have to really keep an eye on. Now Wilkes-Barre has sort of weathered that early storm, and let's see if they can attack Hartford a little bit. They've sustained some pressure right out of that power play that Hartford had, and we'll see if they can get it off this draw.
Ulmer beats Koltsov on the faceoff. Here's McDonald. He's held up by Beach. McDonald can't flip it out as it hit Koltsov. Now Lampman and Koltsov bang. It's off of Nicolet's glove. Nicolet gets in Chris Beach's way. Oh, it's fired toward the front by Sorobi, but LaBarbera handles that. Tipped in by Koltsov. He has it poked away behind the net. Nicolet trying to get Beach off his back. Now Wiseman hands it ahead to McDonald. He'll dunk it in deep. Nasruddin gets back. Sorobi has his clearing pass blocked by Ulmer. He centers one, and that gets through McDonald, who was open on the doorstep.
Great little pinch by Ulmer coming up and seeing an opportunity, even though his defensive guy was deep in the zone. Tough offside there. But that dump in too, Bob, was key because he didn't have much. They just dump it in deep. Ulmer obviously leading, people that don't know, leading the team in scoring in this particular series.
And that's after he missed the entire first 2 rounds with an injury. And McDonald coming down the weak side there. Nobody had him, but the pass just too hot to handle.
That's just a nice pinch by Ulmer. Picked up the puck and threw it across, like you said, Jason McDonald wide open. And that's just a timing play. You know, 7-8 times out of 10 in practice, they'll get that goal.
Benoit Dussablon against Endicott on the center ice draw. This line for Hartford is Dussablon, Giroux, and Craig Weller. Giroux has the puck. He's tied up. Dussablon trying to help out. That's knocked away from him to Peterson. And away comes Kostopoulos. His dump in is blocked down by Tootin. Tootin dropping it deeper in his own zone, but only Peterson was there. He's bumped by Pusher. Peterson to Endicott. He can't get much of a shot away. Nearly turned into a pass, but Kostopoulos was well checked. Kept in again by Endicott. He has it poked away nicely by Tootin. And a 3-on-2 develop here for Hartford, led by Weller. Weller drops it off to Dussablon, back to Weller. He bangs it off the side of the goal. Giroux hands back to big Craig Weller. Again to Giroux, but it hops off his stick. And the Penguins will get it out of there.
That 3-on-2, a little too much of clustering by Hartford. They let one defenseman cover 2 guys, and they couldn't spread the ice enough to get a good opportunity.
Coming toward the halfway point of the first period, still no scoring, and shots are all even at 5 after Hartford had the first 4 of the game. Filipowicz pressured by Armstrong. Malash there as well. Now Paul grabs it free. And it'll be cleared by Ortmeyer. This will go all the way down, and they'll call icing against the Hartford Wolfpack as Scuderi touches up.
Now this, you want to know an important statistic. Each team that scores first has won the game in this series. Interesting on top of that, Hartford has not lost a game in the entire playoffs when they have scored first. That is how important. Of course, usually when you score first, it helps you. Wilkes-Barre's lost 3 games they've scored first in this postseason, but Hartford hasn't lost a single one.
And that's kind of been their personality all year. They haven't been a great comeback team, but they've been very tough holding leads. LaBarbera trying to help out his defense. Lampman has control, and he sends it around to Ortmeyer. Nicolette up from the defense, leading the charge. He flips in and follows up on it. Kyoto to Scuderi. Nice breakout pass to Armstrong. He leads Murley. He'll throw it across to Malash on the far side. And Boileau will play it off the board. To Armstrong, bumped off the puck by a back-checking Moore. Now Malash with a hard hit on Nicolette, but the Wolfpack able to clear.
Both teams have really settled into a bit of a rhythm, not as much tempers. Both teams ready for this game. Not a lot of nerves from what I can see up here.
Moore steers it into the offensive zone and sidesteps a hit attempt by Nazardine. Now a big forecheck by Murray. Ouellette breaking it out for the Penguins. Their leading scorer in the regular year. He gets by a hip check attempt by Tooten. Pusher has it elude him. Now he's pressured hard by Matthew. Tooten and Ouellette, pair number 7s go to the boards. That's dug loose by Lefebvre, hit by Pusher. Murray helping out. He can't clear. Matthew to Ouellette behind the goal, spins around. Now he gets hit by Murray. Pusher knocked to the deck, trying to gather the puck underneath him. Referee telling him to keep it moving. Here's Matthew. Getting it back in behind the cage, but Murray takes care of Ouellette. And finally, Hartford clears it out of there and trying to stick a Bale. One man back, it's Nazardine. Bale tries a little razzle-dazzle, but he can't get toward the net. Filipowicz pinching down to try to hold it in, can't do so.
Bit of a shinny move there. He was looking for the highlight reel, and he just couldn't get it back on his stick to get a chance on Kyoto.
LaRose gets it deep. Kyoto really gave it away to Bale behind the net. Now Beach looks to clear. Can't get it by Filipowicz. Now eludes Bale near the line. Beach whips it in for the Penguins before he gets hit. Wiseman has it go off of him and deeper in the Wolfpack zone. Paul can't clear past Bale. Ball got hit hard behind the net by Koltsov. Here's Beach's shot. That's blocked. Rebound collected up by Wiseman. Nice little feed ahead to Ulmer. He can't chip it out. Whitney kept it in. Now Filipowicz plays the loose puck but can't get it away from Beach. Beach to Whitney. He'll backhand it back in deep. Filipowicz intercepts behind the net, but he can't clear LaBarbera, sensing an unsettled situation, dives on top of it. No score here in Hartford. We'll be right back. Game 7 is scoreless, and pretty little bit of dangling by Joe Bale, but it didn't quite work.
Now on this hit on Jeff Paul, that's a scary sight sometimes when you see a guy go head first into the boards. When I was a freshman in high school, I was in a game where a young man got paralyzed, and that's just very, very, very scary stuff, but he's okay.
He got his head out of the way just in time, it looked like, and took the brunt of the impact with the top of his shoulder. Face-off will be deep in the Hartford zone. Wilkes-Barre Scranton's dictated a lot of the play in the last couple of minutes, and Kostopoulos off the drop. Just misses the net. It's held in by David Kochi. Now wrapped away by Nicolette. Hartford came out hard in this first period, but Wilkes-Barre Scranton has had some good zone pressure in the last few minutes.
Scuderi and Kochi out there on the blue line now, but Ryan Whitney has really made the difference. He's missed the last couple games, injuries, back in the lineup, showing a lot of poise and maybe calming this Wilkes-Barre team down a little bit.
LaBarbera will wait for Nicolette. It looks like he may be hit with an icing. Nope, they'll wash it out. Kochi getting back. He's bumped by Bale. Tooten settling it down at his own line. A pass misses LaRose, and this will be icing as Scuderi beats Giroux to it.
You look at Giroux, he's one that's been a little bit quiet. Such a talented offensive player, has size and skill. He'd be one of the players to look for when we talk about balancing out Joseph Bale. This kid, Alexander Giroux, can really, really dangle with the puck, as they say in the parlance of the pond. He's a real talented kid, and they could use his offense tonight.
He was acquired in one of those many trade deadline deals made by the Rangers this year, coming over from the Ottawa Senators organization.
And there's another kid right there, Mr. Dominic Moore, who has a lot of talent and has been quiet the last few games.
Yeah, he's been snake bit as far as getting points in this series. Early for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, covering for Boileau. Now Nazardine able to send it to the Wolfpack line. Tooten gets it through Boileau, but Ortmeyer was ready to throw a hit. He didn't see the puck. Armstrong feeding for Murley. The referee gets in Murley's way.
A little bit of a lull here, Bob. Some dumps, a lot of missed passes. Not as crisp as the first part of this period. Maybe a little bit of a drain, and we need a big hit to pick things up.
Sometimes these games are like 3 periods of overtime. Both teams are so conscious of not making a mistake that they don't really take the play to the other team.
Until that first goal is scored, and then things tend to pick up. You're 100% correct.
Wiseman.
You can do analysis and play-by-play.
Would I get paid double?
No.
Whitney. Pressured by Ulmer. Whitney gets away nicely. Now it's Ouellette. Ouellette has Matthew headed toward the net, but Philippus blocks the pass. Wolfpack can't get it out as the puck bounces around. Ball held up, but he's able to clear it away from Lefebvre. And here's a lead pass by McDonald, who gets stapled to the boards by Ouellette. Ulmer battling Matthew. Now in comes McDonald. He's knocked down by Marquis Matthew. There's going to be a penalty. Whistle blows as Whitney touches the puck. We'll come back with a Hartford power play following this timeout. Hartford Wolfpack with their first full-length power play of this first period as Matthew knocked his opposite number McDonald down.
Interesting story. He is actually born in Hartford, Connecticut, was playing senior pro hockey in Quebec 2 years ago, and now he's in the Game 7 of the American League Hockey League Conference Finals.
Wolfpack saw a ton of him when he was with Providence. A real pain in their neck. Now a pass by LaRose eludes Bale. The puck goes all the way down. LaRose, Bale, Nicolette, Wiseman, and Tooten out on this power play.
Before that commercial break, you talked about how no one wants to make a mistake to get their team behind. That's why special teams are going to be so important right here.
Bale. Bill Wiseman back to Bale. Here's Tooten firing a shot. That's blocked up in the air by Colby Armstrong, and it goes all the way up into the netting.
In terms of the power play, Hartford has struggled. They're 3 for 29 in the series. That's only 10%, and you need to get better results out of your power play to win the Calder Cup, and they've gotten this far without it helping them. It'd be great. They haven't lost a single game when they score first in the entire playoffs, and right here going into the intermission would be a big boost for the Wolfpack.
You got to figure a guy like Tooten is going to be a power play quarterback type of player for a long time in the NHL. Here's Endicott breaking out shorthanded for the Penguins, held up by Tooten. Now LaRose drops it back. Here's Lawrence Nicolette circling the cage. He'll start things away for the Wolfpack. Tooten's pass gets through LaRose, and it's tipped away from Wiseman. Nicolette will have to hustle back. Endicott trying to hook his way past him, but Bale comes back to help out.
Nice job by Endicott. Now he's going to get off and get some fresh legs out there to try to kill the last minute of this power play.
Bale dishes it to Wiseman, who gets hit by Kochi. Wiseman drops it off to Pusher. He'll fire it toward the front. Blocked aside by Scuderi. Pusher blocks Murley's clearing try. Now LaRose has it. He'll throw it at the net. All the way to the corner. Kochi can't clear it past Lampman. He gets free from Kostopoulos. Bale dancing along the blue line. Bale all the way in deep. Now he drops it back to Pusher. Long shot is blocked as Murley slid down.
That's the kind of effort in a Game 7 you love to see.
In comes LaRose with a long drive, and Kyoto makes a pad save. The rebound cleared screaming up over the far side glass and out of play.
As we look at Andy Kyoto, who's been solid so far. Corey LaRose, such an important return in Game 6, had a goal. As we look at Michel Therrien, who knows that Joseph Bale isn't the only player that can beat him. And his players so far, I think he's done a great job coaching his defensemen to keep the area in front of Andy Kyoto clear.
Draw between Moore and Endicott. 17 seconds on the power play. Moore's going to be tossed out now, and Jernander will take it. Wolfpack get it. Here's Pusher. Over to Jernander. Jernander looking for an opening. Moore whips it on goal. Kyoto makes the save. Rebound cleared just past Pusher, and that'll just about do it for the Hartford power play.
Smart play by Moore. He just wanted to make sure Kyoto had his angles and everything was in order, and he made the save.
Penalty is over, and this is not going to go far enough for icing. Pusher getting back. Team's back at full strength. Still no score. Kyoto handles Ortmeyer's dump in. Looks like the Wolfpack are dumping a lot of pucks on net here tonight, trying to make Kyoto handle it. In comes Koltsov, dropping it off to Beach. He'll throw it at the goal, and LaBarbera didn't see that till the last second. He makes a save, and LaBarbera tripped and fell down. The puck was sent through the slot and went untouched. Now Sorobi Trying to spin away from Paul. Koltsov turning and shoving it toward the front. LaBarbera holds the far post. And the whistle is blown just as a Penguin is sent flying by Moore. And a couple of anxious moments there for LaBarbera and company.
A lot of times the people at home don't pick up on stuff that happens outside of the camera view. And one thing that's gone on so far, Bob, that I've sort of harped on as we look at Jason LaBarbera, Ryan Whitney helped get this whole thing started. He made the pass to get them up ice in the breakout, and then he's already all the way on the left side, and through that centering pass, he's all over the ice, and he's done a great job of really anchoring their blue line. And Wilkes-Barre has recovered from that early lapse. They were outshot 4-0 to start the period and have really made this a pretty even hockey game.
Ulmer and Endicott on the draw, one by Ulmer. Nicolette looking for Wiseman. Kostablis gets in the way of that. Peterson, a bad angle shot, and LaBarbera will grab that. Looks like both teams are determined to get pucks at the net from everywhere on the respective goaltenders.
And you like to see that because you don't know what kind of rebound. They know that the goalies are probably a little nervous about it too, don't want to make mistakes, and it could be any kind of bounce that can swing this Game 7 and swing this series. But so far the goalies have been up to it. I've been very impressed with Jason LaBarbera. Of course, he had 13 shutouts in the regular season, the MVP of the league, but he's come back from adversity in this series to really show that he's a battler.
Wallow wrists it at the goal, and LaBarbera gets in the way of that. He'll hang on.
Another thing, when I watch Jason LaBarbera play, I love to watch how he is on his angles and in the crease and everything, because when he's confident, he's smooth, he's moving laterally. He's a very big goalie. The way to beat him is to get him move a lot and flop a lot, and he stayed on his feet quite a bit and butterflied all night.
Malash wins the draw to Boileau. Long shot is right on, and the rebound was there, but it was swept away before Murley got to it.
He popped up so fast. You see how he did that? That means I think he's very engaged, he's very focused, and he's on his game.
Nazardine touches up on the icing as we look at Alex Giroux. The Wolfpack had to win Game 6 of this series in Wilkes-Barre. They did that last night. Here's the shot by Boileau.
You see how he snapped up so quickly. Butterfly goalie. Ryan McGill has done a great job bringing him along. Maybe he'll be a guy that can challenge in training camp for the Rangers. He certainly proved that he can succeed at this level. There's no doubt about it.
We've seen a lot of goaltenders take a long while to develop recently in hockey, Brian. You look at particularly Mika Kiprusoff with the Calgary Flames right now, how great a goaltender he is in the NHL. And he had several years in the AHL where he had to cut his teeth and didn't get much of a sniff at the big show.
Well, you know what it is with goaltending, Bob? Only one can play. So if somebody's playing in front of you, it's difficult to get that time you need to mature.
Orpik finds Ouellet. He drops it back to Orpik, shoving it toward the goal, and they battle for it in front of the net, but good hard work by Pusher to clear it away from Lefebvre.
Pusher does a lot of things that only a veteran can do. He's often in the right place, keeping the body and the puck quickly, separated, and so nothing happens too much in the defensive end.
Petter Teuton's had excellent luck with partners mentoring him through the time he spent in the AHL this year. First it was John Jacobin, who was later traded, and then Pusher after he was sent down by the Rangers. Murray for the Wolfpack, trying to go wide on Nazardine. Murray centers from he shoots, and Kyoto makes his biggest save of the game thus far, and the Penguins are able to clear it away. What
a great job for Joseph Bale to even get a stick on it. He was covered tightly, and then right when the puck came through, he got a stick on the ice and got a shot off. What a great play by a great player.
Nicolette to his defense partner, Lamont. His pass is blocked. Kostablis trying to set up a 2-on-1 down low. Kostablis shoots. LaBarbera, the save. Rebound, fought for it. And LaRose comes down to take it away for the Wolfpack.
Great job by LaBarbera standing his ground on Kostablis.
And Lamont will chase down a loose puck here. Nearly waited too long to get it out. Now finally Murray able to punch it to center.
He thought Kostablis was going to pass it, but LaBarbera did not cheat, and that's why he made a great save right there.
Again, LaRose back checks well to pick up a pass. He sends a long lead to Nicolette. He'll send it toward the front. Orpik cuts it off before it gets to Wiseman, but he recovers to hold it in. Bale can't get to his forehand, but he keeps it alive. Final minute of the first period. Bale to Filipowicz. He'll be content to poke it to the corner. Wiseman forechecks Bale. And a sweep it toward the front. Now it's on Wiseman's stick. Wiseman dropping it for Filipowicz, but before he unloaded that long snapshot, he let it go outside the line.
We look at Corey LaRose, and there's Filipowicz who just couldn't keep the puck in on that situation. Both teams had some decent chances here. It's 10-9 shots to Wilkes-Barre's advantage, and you really have to respect Tom Kostopoulos. Watch this. Everyone's thinking pass. He holds onto the puck, and LaBarbera could have slid over for Shane Endicott, and he held his ground. Great save.
He really read that play well, and he stayed up well, too. Here's Ulmer and Beach on the draw. One by Beach. Scuderi now over to Orpik. He's chased by McDonald. Orpik failed to clear the center red line, and they are going to call icing here as the Wolfpack get the first stick on the puck. Pusher able to reach out and get free from the clutches of Beach.
Nothing frustrates a coach more than when you have the puck at the red line and you end up with an icing. You take that extra step and then you have a dump in. Let's take a look at the Joseph Ballet chance in that last sequence. He's just so talented. And one thing that I've been impressed, Bob, is that he fights through things better than I maybe thought he would, and that's a perfect example.
He's very gritty around the net. That's one thing Ryan McGill really likes about him. Ulmer wins the draw from Beach. Tootin dangling over to McDonald. One-timer through a screen, goes wide as Ulmer got in Kyoto's way there. Ulmer now tips it back to the corner, but only Scuderi sees it. And he'll get it up in the air and out of the zone, but it goes out of play.
That's a tough situation for Rob Scuderi because you're in your own zone and you know there's only 10-15 seconds left. Do you dump it out or do you eat it in the corner and just try to waste that 10 seconds? This situation didn't work out for him because now there's a face-off in the offensive end for Hartford.
Ryan McGill won a Memorial Cup with the Western Hockey League's Kootenay Ice 2 years ago. His team one win away from the Calder Cup Finals here tonight.
He's really learned so much in such a short time at the American Hockey League level. He had an up and down year last year, and obviously he owns this team now, and they believe in his message.
Nicolette's shot goes wide. McDonald can't get free from the clutches of Boileau. Long shot by Wiseman is sticked away by Kyoto, and that'll do it for the first period as McDonald and Boileau wrestle one another to the deck. Boileau allowed some pretty good latitude by the referee, Wes McCauley, in latching on to McDonald and eliminating him from getting toward the front of the net. But I'm sure McCauley, in refereeing a Game 7, wants to let the boys play as much as he can.
Let him play, and he was right there, and it's not like he missed anything. He looked at it, and he knew what was going on. Boileau, fans were booing because they thought it was interference, but you saw right there, Jason McDonald got it up in his chops early, and then Boileau took it to him. So if you're going to call a penalty there, it would have been both of them anyway, so it's a wash.
No harm, no foul, tit for tat, however you want to say it, and a hard-fought first period. Ends up even on the scoreboard, even on the shot clock. Back with more from the Hartford Civic Center following this timeout. Score going into the second period, very even first period. Hartford Wolfpack had one good chance on a power play.
Breaking that trap very well. You'll see Jason McDonald go all the way across the ice to Ken Jernander and couldn't quite get up. It's a tough play to go in your backhand, but a good opportunity nonetheless. Then take a look at this hit. Jeff Paul, very, very lucky that he got his head out of the way. And then Joseph Ballet, we talked about it a lot in the period, Bob, how he's covered, but yet he still gets his stick on the puck.
Andy Kyoto, very good low. And now here's a great chance for the AHL's leading playoff point scorer.
Yeah, Tom Kostopoulos did a great job. Everyone really in the building, I thought he was going to pass it, and he went for the shot, and Jason LaBarbera held his ground. As you said, very even shots. It's actually, I think they changed it. It's 10-9. It was 10-10, but they switched it. Penalty minutes, pretty even. Face-offs won. Interesting stat because last time in Game 5 when we were here, Hartford dominated the face-offs in the first period. I think it was 12-4. Wilkes-Barre did a much better job in that first period.
And you saw just 3 total scoring chances. Both teams playing it very close to the vest. And it's a 4-on-4 situation as off that little skirmish the end of the first period. Both McDonald and Boileau got holding penalties.
4-on-4. The players I love to watch, and Joseph Ballet isn't on the ice, but you get your skaters, and Fedor Tootin right there. He's a perfect example of a blue liner who can move the puck well. And these 4-on-4s, if you know where your teammates are, you can move the puck, you can really open it up.
We'll get a face-off between LaRose and Malash here. After an icing against the Penguins, Wolfpack get it. Ballet fires a shot, but that's tipped way up in the air and into the netting. The Penguins, good work there, just cutting off the shooting lanes.
Yeah, they've done a great job, Bob, actually, all game, keeping the puck to the outside and protecting their goalie, Andy Kyoto. Joseph Ballet, what I love about what he just did is that he didn't try to be too fancy. He did that nifty play in the pond hockey realm in the first period, but you know what? He's dangerous when he shoots the puck, and he did it right there.
Tootin trying to get free from Malash. Kostopoulos there as well. Tootin avoids his hit, and away comes Bale. He's got LaRose with him. Bale a long shot. Kyoto will glove that. He'll have to hang on to it. Kyoto loves to move the puck, but in that instance, there was no opportunity to.
Yeah, it was a smart play. Take the face-off, but you get a defensive zone face-off. Hartford didn't do as well in that first period in terms of face-offs. It'd be nice to get a win here like they did on that last face-off and get a shot on Andy Kyoto.
Minute 26 in the 4-on-4 as the Wolfpack get fresh personnel out. Dussablon against Endicott on the draw. Dussablon out there with Ortmeyer, Nicolette, and Lampman.
Shane Endicott just was so excited to get that game winner in Game 5. He felt he had a bad game, and he really restored his confidence with that winner.
That was interesting too. The line of Ulmer, Wiseman, and Bale was out for the Wolfpack for that goal against after they'd been +3 in regulation, and it basically brought the Wolfpack back from extension. Endicott watched by Lampman. Now Orpik can't hack it in front. Ortmeyer gets back, and here's Nicolette with some open ice. Drops it off to Ortmeyer. He'll poke it deep and follow up, and he gives Kyoto a bump. Ortmeyer probably pretty lucky he didn't get a penalty there. And Dussablon is forced out to center.
He got a shot from both defensemen, Scuderi and Orpik, because you know the unwritten rule, and it's a written rule. You just don't run the goaltender.
Offside at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton line. There's a good look at Jed Ortmeyer, rookie out of the University of Michigan.
He was going for the puck, and it didn't look like he went to hit him. He tried to hold back at the tail end, and then Scuderi and Orpik both take a crack at him. If it weren't the playoffs, he would have probably been assaulted a lot more aggressively, but nobody wants to get a penalty.
It's kind of funny how Scuderi and Orpik immediately both disregarded the puck and went right to
That's
Ortmeyer.
Right. And you know, that's one of the great things about hockey is that you protect your goalie. And to me, I always looked at how strongly they protect the goalie as how loyal they are as teammates. You know, if they really come to their goalie's defense quickly, it means they care about him and they care about the team concept.
I know from talking to people around the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins that Kyoto is a very popular player in the dressing room. So Roby snaps the shot at LaBarbera, calmly gloves that with Beach crashing the net looking for a rebound.
You know, we're talking about Andy Kyoto again as we look at Sarovi, who's played in the NHL with the Pittsburgh Penguins quite a bit. He's a great story because Marc-Andre Fleury, top first-round pick, what a prospect, played in the NHL, and here's a kid who was drafted behind him, buried in terms of the public perception, and he's come on and done such a great job for this Penguins team.
7th-round pick this past summer was Kyoto in the NHL draft. Sarovi in front trying to get loose, shoots. LaBarbera, big save. There's a penalty upcoming against Hartford. Whistle has blown. And Sarovi with a great chance. Hooking is the signal. And Wilkes-Barre Scranton will have a 4-on-3 power play.
Sarovi, the Slovakian, he's had a solid year, played 47 games in the NHL, scored 11 goals for Pittsburgh. You see his strength there, Bob, to fight through it. And not only did he get a good chance, he drew a penalty, and you just see his strength, to stay with it. And I wanted to point out, I had credited the defense for both teams at keeping the players in the periphery, but also on the flip side, the forwards need to fight through things and try to get to the middle in front of the net, and right there, Thomas Sarovi did it.
Second power play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Tootin goes off at the 1:35 mark. LaRose and Beach on the draw, and Beach wins it, but it gets by Peterson, and he'll have to head back into his own zone.
Very important power play for Wilkes-Barre. They'd like to get off the schneid. They haven't had a power play goal since they went 3 for 6 earlier in the series.
Lampman can't get it to Nicolette, and a shot is turned away by LaBarbera as it was fired by Whitney. Again, the pack can't clear it away from in front of the goal, and Beach is unable to jam it in. LaRose gets it nearly by Whitney, but he recovers. Now plenty of time for Lampman.
Whitney's so valuable. You've seen him do it 2 or 3 times already, keeping that puck in and showing the poise to keep it in.
LaRose pressuring shorthanded. Now he'll peel off on a change. And Wiseman comes in to get in Whitney's way. Now it's Peterson, a forward, playing a point position on the power play, dropping off to Whitney. Malash down the wing. Can't fire it through. Pusher. Malash keeps it alive. Now Filipowicz steals. Looks for more. He collides with Whitney. Dropping back is Sarovi. It's now 5-on-4. Kostopoulos sending it back toward Whitney. Nice play by Moore to block that. And away comes Moore. Joining the play is Wiseman for a 2-on-1. Moore over to Wiseman holding. Wiseman never gets much of a shot away. Now he plays it toward the front. And it hits Kyoto and goes to the far side.
Couldn't quite get a handle on a great hit by Moore. It was a great sequence by Dominic Moore getting that puck past Whitney on the 2-on-1 and almost connecting for a short-handed goal.
Kyoto just waited Wiseman out there. The fans are into it now. Still 20 seconds on this Penguin power play. Koltsov held up. Nicolette looks to clear, can't get it out. Malash sends it out to Scuderi. Good job to keep it in. Boileau to Koltsov. Final seconds of the man advantage. Eric Malash centers, only Ortmeyer's there, but he can't clear. LaBarbera defers to Ortmeyer. Can't get it by Scuderi. Penalty is over. Here's Boileau walking in, shooting. LaBarbera side all the way. And he makes his save in whole time.
Boileau made a nice shot, but Jason LaBarbera not going to let too many goals from that distance. He's at the top of his crease. We talked about it before. When he's on his game, he's at the top of the crease, challenging the angles. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. And when he gets to the top of that crease, there is not a lot of room for a player to score on.
Boileau, a great offensive defenseman, but LaBarbera on that angle, as you said, not allowing much of any real estate for a puck to get by him. Back to live action here, and again LaBarbera is tested as he's forced to stab the puck with his glove. Armstrong causing some havoc in front of the goal.
Let's take another look at that 2-on-1. Dominic Moore starts it all, a one-on-one battle, bumps it behind Whitney, fights through, and then he poised, waits on the puck, and then Wiseman just couldn't snap it off. If he shot it right away, maybe a better chance, but once you wait, he almost went all the way into the corner with his momentum.
Penguins win the draw. All the way over on the near side is Murley. He centers one, but Dusabon, a good defensive play to block that in front. Orpik, who Endicott going the wrong way. Pressured by Dusabon. Orpik drops back. Now feeds for Endicott. He's hit by Giroux. Penguins able to get it out though. Kostopoulos racing with Tootin. And Tootin wins that battle. Pusher stuffing it ahead to Giroux. His pass eludes Dusabon. Now Weller takes it in. It's off of Dusabon. Orpik holds it away from Giroux. And Dusabon fended off by Nasruddin. Here's Kostopoulos with a long left wing lead, too far for Orpik. And Paul will turn with it. He's on defense here with Filipowicz. Kostopoulos blocks Filipowicz's dump in. Paul trying to find Giroux, but he can't. Now it's taken in by Lefebvre, but the whistle has stopped play.
Nice job in transition. You see some area passes. A lot of times people think when you knock it high off the glass that it's just trying to dump it in, but that was a situation where Jeff Paul threw it to an area where he knew his player was going to be, and it was a smart play. And that can't be his natural hair color, is it? They all go blonde.
As far as I know, it is. He's pretty blonde to begin with. He's got the little red beard growing in there. Jeff Paul, another guy who came over late in the season to join the Wolfpack. Started the year in the Florida Panthers organization. Ouellette knocks Filipowicz down, but Filipowicz able to dump it in. They bang for it. Ballet's got it. Spinning around. Now he has it chopped off his stick. And breaking out is Ouellette for the Penguins. Paul cruises over to look to clear it. But Murray can't work it out. There's a centering through Ouellette shoots, and LaBarbera makes the save. On the 30-goal man for the regular season, Ouellette.
What a great stop. He was a little on his glove side, and he still made a great save.
Here's a big rush by LaRose, and his shot is turned away with the stick of Kyoto. LaRose trying to steal it back, can't do so. Scuderi stays with it. And he'll fire it out.
Corey LaRose talked in the intermission how excited he is to be this deep in the playoffs and back on the ice, and he would love nothing more than to get a goal in this Game 7.
Scuderi run hard by Murray. Now Nicolette breaks up a pass, and McDonald will look to turn it quickly to Ulmer. He shoots from a bad angle. The save is made. Rebound. loose in front, and it's cleared away before McDonald can wrap it home, and it's going to be icing here against the Penguins.
With those bad angle shots, the goal of them usually, you know, Andy Kyoto on his glove side, you want to try to get those to the inside of the pad so the goalie has to let up a rebound. When you throw it to Kyoto's glove side, he's going to stop it, and you can see it's not a great angle, but the goal of this is to get a rebound to pop out, but when it's on post side, a lot of times it's going to go right in the corner like it just did.
Jason McDonald crashing the crease as he always does. Here's Wilkes-Barre Scranton with a good opportunity. Ouellette stopped by the left pad of LaBarbera.
See how sharp LaBarbera was? Stuck out his leg, and then he's in position immediately after.
Nicolette off the draw. Sends it toward the goal. It gets all the way through, but Kyoto calmly makes the save. Kostopoulos through center for the Penguins. LaBarbera able to find Nicolette. Wiseman pokes it toward Ulmer. He can't get it out. Jumping on it now is Lampman. His lead pass too far for Ulmer. And the Penguins are going to be called for being offside. Still scoreless here in the second in Game 7 in Hartford. Ryan McGill in the first Game 7 of his pro coaching career, and it's nip and tuck right now here in Hartford.
Absolutely, and he's done such a great job keeping the team focused. These are obviously young men, and some of them haven't been in this situation before, and he's just really done a nice job keeping them focused and not too emotional.
The Milwaukee Admirals awaiting the winner of this game to start the Calder Cup Finals. The Admirals eliminated Rochester in Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals on Wednesday. Lampman can't quite keep it in for the Wolfpack. He'll drop it off to Nicolette. Nicolette played on that same Houston team that you heard Corey LaRose speak about during the first intermission. Both came over and traded to the Rangers late last season. Now the Penguins look to get it in front. It's all the way out to Boileau. He feeds it to the side of the crease, and it hops away from Murley, and LaBarbera is able to cover it. Well, that was nice puck movement by the Penguins, and now we get a little dust up after the whistle. Yeah, some emotion. This is the point in the game where sometimes there's a lull, and I think it's great that both teams are keeping their focus on that situation, Bob. Great puck movement by the Wilkes-Barre Penguins, but also the Hartford forwards have to get out to that point. If you'll see, they're collapsed pretty low, and there's a lot of space up top for them to make a play like that. And that really started, even though they went down low, that started up top with the defenseman having time to make a play. Nicolette and Armstrong wrestling around. Armstrong has been a thorn in the Wolfpack side throughout this series. And pretty good wrestling match there with Nicolette, a couple of ex-Western Hockey League juniors. Yeah, they know each other. All these guys, when you get to this point, especially with the Europeans playing juniors now a lot, they know each other. They've seen each other for years. It's a small universe, the world of hockey. Yeah, it is, but that's what's great about it, because sometimes the grudges last a long time, and also friends off the ice can end up being grudges on the ice. Whitney works it to Beach. Out of Sorobi. He finds Koltsov. He's held up by Tootin. Now Pusher works it free. Conley hands off to McDonald. He's held up by Koltsov. McDonald uses his strength well. Here's a steal by Ulmer. He has a pulled away right to Wiseman. His high shot is knocked down. Rebound gathered in by Kyoto with all three forwards. McDonald, Ulmer, and Wiseman right around the net. You can't really call that a block by Whitney. He sort of got in the way of that shot, and that a forward, if you ask a forward where he wants to get the puck, it's in the slot, and there was an opportunity right in that slot, Bob. Jason McDonald, a bull out there, and he really worked hard to keep that puck going forward. And Kyoto got a beat on that quickly, it looked like. Eventually, those bounces, and we look at Jason McDonald, who is, as used the cliche, like a bull in a china shop. He definitely likes to wreak some damage. Nazardine gonna drive it out past Tootin, can't do so. Here's a drive off the wing by Giroux. Kyoto has to go to his knees to make that save. You know, we talked about how these players, you talked about the Western League relationships. You know, how about someone like Ryan Whitney? We look at Alexander Giroux. Ryan Whitney and Boston University, Rob Scuderi and Brooks Orpik, Boston College, probably one of the biggest rivalries in all of hockey, and now they're teammates together, and they have to battle with each other against the other team. And Whitney just joined this team out of the college ranks. Tootin able to backhand it toward the front, but it's swept away. Again, Tootin crashing down to help hold it in, but it's stolen away by Peterson. Taken right back by Giroux. There's a blast by Pusher right on, and Kyoto makes the save. Rebound cleared out by Boileau, but he's going to get hit with an icing call here, it looks like. Tootin will move back, and the whistle sounds.
And anyone that's played against Mr. Brooks Orpik has probably been on the receiving end of a two-handed chop. He definitely is a very aggressive player. And we look at Boileau, who had that great opportunity. Orpik is he just is tough. And in college, you thought he's wearing a full shield, there's no fighting. That's why he does a lot of stick work. You know what? He's still been very aggressive and physical at the pro hockey level, so it's just the way he is as a hockey player.
And a quick chance off the draw. It's kicked away by Kyoto. Here's a long shot by Pusher. Tipped right on, and a pad save is made by Kyoto. Two sharp stops by Andy Kyoto as his team was hemmed in its own zone. Orpik pressured now by Murray. As Murray bumps him into the boards. Willett breaks it out for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. With a feed to Orpik up on the defense. He can't walk around Pusher. And it's off of Ballet's stick. LaRose able to slide out of the zone, but Orpik grabs it right back. He gets a return pass from Whitney. Here's a lead to Matthew. Matthew has it poked off his stick. Whitney keeps it alive. Now Tootin blocks the centering try. Pusher trying to gun it around the boards. LaBarbera reaches out after the carom. And LaBarbera will snare it. He's been very active in covering pucks in this game thus far.
Yeah, you don't want to take chances. It seems like both goalies are very conscious of not letting too many loose pucks in front of them. And I've been very impressed. I talked about LaBarbera when he's on his game. He's really aggressive and out in the top of his crease. Also, another thing that fans can look at Andy Kyoto, how he is strong and aggressive at the top of his crease, but he's controlling his rebounds. That's another indicator of nerves and confidence when you're controlling your rebounds. That one was a little fat. Probably would have liked to have gotten that one in the corner.
And the Wolfpack trying to clear it out here. Pusher tried to ring it around the boards, but good play by Lefebvre to cut that off.
A little surprised that he tried to whip it around. He had some time, and they really didn't need an icing in that situation.
LaBarbera stops his shot from the face-off circle, but Murley intercepts. A breakout pass, a long shot by Kochi is blocked. Now Dussaban takes over for the Wolfpack. He's out there with Giroux and Weller.
Weller, Jim Schoenfeld said it at the break, he loves this kid, how hard he works and how much he's improved. Said he's possibly the most improved kid on this team.
He throws a hit on Kochi there. Now he works the puck free. Way out comes Kyoto. He decides to go deeper in the defensive zone with it. Scuderi finds Armstrong. He can't clear it away. Filipowicz has it in his skates. Now Giroux can't get away from Rob Scuderi. Stolen back again by Giroux. Armstrong locks him up. Good defensive work in the defensive zone by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins.
On the flip side, great forechecking by Hartford, keeping the pressure. Now they have the puck in the offensive end and fresh legs from a change.
Still scoreless in this one. These two clubs battling for a berth in the Calder Cup Finals. And offside was Murley as that puck came across the Hartford Wolfpack line, and then Armstrong was sent flying.
You get a whistle and you get sent flying. Not a good combo for you. But this game has been very interesting from a pace as we watch Garth Murray take a nice hit. They were basically Milosh setting a pick for his own player right there, and he got crunched pretty good. Wanted a penalty, but he's not going to get it.
Yeah, you see the quick little look at the referee. What the heck? But not a call that Wes McCauley is going to make at this point in the game 7 with the score. A couple of goose eggs. Lampman for the Wolfpack with his usual partner Nicolette. Nicolette carrying the mail with a lead to McDonald. He one touches it ahead to Almer. Leading scorer for both teams in this series. Tries to play it in front, can't do so. Kyoto able to wrap it away from Chad Wiseman. Held in by Lampman, but his pass got blocked by Koltsov. Good recovery by Lampman. Now on his own end is Nasruddin. Now we got a stoppage in play. We'll go for a break. Still no score past the halfway point of the second period of Game 7. This has been an extremely even series. Game 7 is still scoreless, just about halfway through. Shots on goal are all even.
Yeah, it's been a great game, well coached. We talked about Wes McCauley, the ref, done a nice job, made the calls he's had to, but this game has stayed in control and been very hard fought.
Giroux hawking the puck in the offensive zone. Here's Ortmeyer to Lampman. He didn't get much on this shot. Now Kyoto able to poke it back to the corner, but right there is Giroux. Hands it to Ortmeyer. He drops to Giroux. His blast is right on, and the save is made by Kyoto just as he got a Wolfpack player knocked down on top of him. And that's going to bring a scrum. Kyoto with great concentration there.
Yeah, it was great flash in the glove, and that was a point-blank opportunity. And I was actually a little surprised that the Wilkes-Barre players didn't jump on that a little more quickly when someone fell on top of their goalie, who's been so impressive. And right there, he was at the top of his crease and controlling things. And he's got a nice glove. I think it might be outside of his puck handling, which I think he's been almost doing too much tonight. He's flashing that glove, and it's a strong suit for him.
We'll get another look at the chance. Watch the jamming around the goal crease. I think one of the Wolfpack players got thrown down on top. Looks like Orpik bumps. I think that was Bryce Lampman down from the defense, right on top of Kyoto, just as that shot was coming through. That was Lampman. That's a good thing. The one thing this game has lacked is a lot of traffic out front, and that's how you get mistakes. You're not going to throw it from below the dots and get a lot of goals. You need point-blank shots, rebounds, and crash that net. We're going to get a couple of penalties for each side here. Ortmeyer on the left, Lampman on the right in the box for the Wolfpack. There are two Penguins in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton bin. Endicott on the left, and I believe that's Kostopoulos on the right there. So as Michel Therrien talks to Wes McCauley, I imagine it'll stay 5-on-5. Yeah, I saw Ryan McGill's mouth asking about it. Michel Therrien, who's, has a great coaching resume, although he's got stripes on stripes with his coat-tie combo. I'm not sure about that. He's upset right now about something. Maybe he's getting a power play for the Wolfpack, or he wants the referee's attention. I can't tell. And Therrien is pointing in the direction of the penalty box area. He wants a different guy in there, maybe, because I mean, to have Kostopoulos and Endicott in there, that's kind of a loss for them. I can't get a feel for what he's upset about. He's upset about a lot of things. He tends to have a temper, but I'm not sure if he thinks it should be a different player or if it's a location of the face-off. He was very unhappy, was Therrien, with the work of McCauley in Game 2 in Wilkes-Barre, which the Wolfpack won 3-2 in overtime. He thinks the face-off should be out of the zone. I think that's what he is upset about. Ryan McGill, he has 5-on-5 in an offensive zone face-off. He's fine with that. Of course, Michel Therrien, who coached the Montreal Canadiens to the Eastern Conference Finals in the NHL when he rode the coattails of Jose Theodore, and is very, very intense. I believe he was coaching when Richard Zednik also was hit by Kyle McLaren, and it was a very intense situation at the National Hockey League level just a couple years ago. It remains 5-a-side here as all the penalties match up. Filipowicz knocks the puck out of the air, but right to Nasreddine. He gets bumped by Giroux. Waddle flipping it toward Armstrong. It's knocked away from him. Here's a rush for Giroux. With Nasreddine trying to cut off his angle. Giroux tried to make a move. Now gets a shot away, but it's blocked by Nasreddine. Just missed with that toe drag. In fact, I thought it was going to work and he was going to snap a shot off. He just couldn't get it back on his stick. Filipowicz banks a pass to Giroux. Now it's Weller, and he loses it off his stick. Nasreddine looking for Boileau. It gets through him, but carries ahead to Armstrong. He gets bumped by Moore, but Wilkes-Barre Scranton able to clear it. Hartford regrouping, trying to get some sustained pressure. Very good in the neutral zone for the most part tonight, making Chris Pastors get a turnover right there, though. Armstrong can't hand it to Malash, but Malash keeps it alive. Moore takes over now for the Wolfpack. He's out there with Murray and Bale. Now Moore heads off for a change, and LaRose will come out. Murray works it free. He has it poked away, gets it back. It's off a stick, and Kyoto will look to help his defense. Whitney can't clear it past Murray. LaRose now looks for Murray. Just a little bit out of his reach. Orpik can't clear it past Pusher. Now Murray has it held away from him by Koltsov. Whitney turning to the far side. He gets spun around by Murray. And the puck is out of the zone. Now Koltsov with a hit. Tootin, his fellow Russian. Orpik cutting in. A wrist shot right on, and LaBarbera stood up to make that save. LaRose deep in his own zone. Feeds for Bale. He gets intercepted by Koltsov. Looked to me like Koltsov let it go outside the line, but the officials don't agree. Bale tied up, and he can't clear. Now Sorovi's held up by Tootin. Bale intercepts a pass. He can't rip it past Orpik. Long shot blocked by Pusher. Rebound to Murray with a long lead to LaRose. Orpik trying to hold him up. Good defensive play, playing the body by Orpik. Now Bale centers one, but it's swept away from Jeff Paul. Now LaBarbera's going to have to come out to beat Ouellette to it. He just gets it by Ouellette's stick. Delayed offside against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Now Filipowicz leading a Wolfpack chart. Drives it into the Penguin zone. Picked up by Ulmer. He tries to center. That doesn't get through. Matthew to Ouellette. He works it ahead toward Lefebvre. Now Scuderi forced back into his own zone. Here's Matthew. Trying to push it ahead to Lefebvre. Filipowicz blocks that. Both Wolfpack defensemen in the far corner. And LaBarbera has broken his goal stick. He's holding on to just the paddle end of that right now. Wolfpack would love to get a stoppage. Filipowicz will try to ice it. And it's not quite going to go far enough. Big forecheck by McDonald. Now Ulmer moves in. Ulmer gets loose, shoots. And that never got through. It was blocked by Scuderi. Kept alive by Ulmer. It's whacked away from him, but Pusher jumps up to hold it in. His long shot blocked down by Matthew. And Willett can't quite catch up to it in center. Back in comes Ulmer. Trying to get free of Kochi. Kochi rides him out nicely. Now McDonald joins the fray. Ulmer trying to push it in front. There's going to be a penalty as Ulmer got run into the net by Kochi. Whistle blows. And with LaBarbera holding a broken stick, the Wolfpack were not only able to keep the puck at the other end of the ice, but they draw a penalty as well.
Yeah, they sort of dodged a bullet there, because when a goalie doesn't have full use of his stick, anyone who's skated, if you don't have stick, even when you're a non-goalie, it's awkward, but a goalie needs it to use it. Now, Kochi did a nice job pinning him, but he just didn't know when to quit. He just kept going too far and eventually drew the penalty. McCauley watched it happen to start, but when the puck is there and you're pinning him, he'll let stuff go. But when the puck is released and you stay on him like that, you're going to get a penalty, and it's a good call by the referee. Jason LaBarbera has a full stick now. He doesn't handle the puck. He's pretty average in that department, not in terms of quality, but in terms of how much he does it. But still, any goalie needs to have a stick, because it's about balance, about blocking shots, and being able to clear rebounds.
This is the third power play of the game for the Wolfpack. And a good job by Kostablis to kick it out of there while he was being held up by Wiseman. Now Nicolette hands it toward Wiseman. He's forced to double back. Tootin playing one of the points on this power play. Back to Wiseman. He'll heave it in. First man to it is Nasruddin. He has it poked past him by LaRose. Now LaRose knifing it over to Bale. He'll drop it to Tootin. Tootin a long shot wide to the near side as Wiseman looked for a tip. Nicolette able to work it to LaRose. His long blast is blocked down in front by Boileau, and it's cleared all the way down.
With the talent they have on this particular power play, Bob, as they're 3 for 31, and they've really been struggling, less than 10%. But with Wiseman, LaRose, and Bale out there, you want to do a little more than just have long shots from the point. You want to try to get possession below the dots and go to the net down low.
Puck played toward the front. Orpik knocks it down. He can't clear. Now he gets it to Malash, and he'll stuff it down the rink. First man to it is Murley. Wolfpack struggling to catch up. Murley's shot is blocked wide by a diving Corey LaRose. Tootin on it now for Hartford. His lead is to Wiseman. And LaRose heads toward the Wolfpack bench a little slowly. A pass goes behind Bale, and Scuderi will clear it down the rink.
They didn't get a clean change. Bale out there probably a little bit too long, and now they finally get a fresh set out there for the final 28 seconds of this power play. And I usually do like shots on the point with rebounds, but when those three are out there, you really want to see their skill on display.
A dump in Karen for the front, swept aside by Kyoto. Ulmer over to Lampman. He's held up by Armstrong. The puck comes to Dominic Moore to Pusher. He loses it, gets it back. Now Ulmer firing, Kyoto the save and the rebound. Just hopped away from Lampman. Back comes Matthew. Matthew a screen drive. That's blocked up in the air by Pusher, and it goes out of play. We'll take a break. The Wolfpack and Wilkes-Barre Scranton still no score. Back in a moment. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins have been great on the penalty kill in this series. They just finished killing another one off.
Yeah, Hartford, this is their best opportunity. Looked like Jason McDonald was wide open out front, but there really wasn't a lot of room for him to get his stick on the puck.
Back to 5-on-5 now. Sarovia, big forecheck on Lampman. Ulmer helping out, and he gets it just past Whitney.
This period has been a lot more active, Bob, in terms of chances generated, a little more wide open, a little more aggressive from both teams.
Here's a big forecheck by McDonald, working it free to Ulmer. Now Wiseman chasing it. Koltsov able to clear before he gets bumped by McDonald. Delayed offside now against the Wolfpack. Orpik with a lead pass to Beach. 3-on-2 into the Wolfpack zone. And a long shot is eaten up by LaBarbera. And like we've seen a lot from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins throughout this series, Sarovi crashes the net, and says hello to LaBarbera.
Yeah, they're trying to get him off this game. They know, as we look at Chris Beach, actually, and I wanted to touch on him, he's been pretty quiet tonight. The highly touted prospect who came over the Jaromir Jagr trade back when Jagr went to the Capitals originally, and Beach is a talented kid. I think the next couple years are huge for him. He really needs to make a jump and establish himself as a legitimate NHL player. He's sort of at that point where he needs to make that jump in his development.
He had 2 goals and an assist in Game 4. Faceoff was to be Moore against Endicott. Moore's going to be tossed out, and he's arguing the call. Giroux moves in there. Endicott wins the draw. Now Ortmeyer will come down to pick up the puck. He flips it to Moore, who clears the zone. Patrick Boileau gets a pass through Moore, but can't find any teammates. Now a long Wolfpack lead, feed by Pusher is too far, but icing is washed out. Kyoto's forced to play it. Nasruddin finds Peterson. Now Endicott heads out. Dishes it to Kostopoulos, tries to return to Endicott. It gets through him. Peterson keeps it in. It bounces toward the front. Giroux bangs it away from Kostopoulos, but he can't get it out. Scuderi to Kostopoulos behind the net. It's off his stick. Moore back checking, pushed by Kostopoulos. Tootin there as well. Now Pusher will take control. Scuderi kicks it down deep, but Giroux finally able to punch it out of it.
It's at the point now where we're almost 2/3 through this game with no score. It's going to get more and more tense out there with every little turnover.
LaBarbera will come out to play the puck, looking for Paul. Murley stops that. LaRose back checking behind the net, holding up Armstrong. Murley looking to work it out of the corner. Murley drops it out to Orpik. He looks down low, deflects to Murley, but it gets through him, and Philip was able to clear it for the Wolfpack.
Nice play to get it back to Orpik, but they couldn't get the puck through. It was too clogged up in the middle.
Kyoto nearly put that clearing attempt over the glass. That would have been a penalty. Filipowicz now flips it over Murray's head. Comes back to Jamie Filipowicz. He'll dump it in this time. It deflects off Orpik. He'll be the first man to the corner. Gets a bump from Murray. Malage takes over. He's hit by Bale, but Malage able to float it down into Wolfpack ice.
Garth Murray done such a great job of forechecking tonight, finishing every check and just being a general nuisance to Wilkes-Barre.
LaBarbera and Filipowicz have some trouble. That Pusher can't clear. Dusablon hemmed in near the line by Beach. Now it finally squirts to center. And it'll be gathered in by Murray. His pass out of the reach of Bale. Dusablon hard after it. Kyoto able to get it to Boileau. Now Weller trying to poke it back down deep. He does. Out comes Kyoto. He's almost like a third defenseman out there. Giroux shoots one. Kyoto makes the save, and he nearly let it go loose, but got back to it.
You know, Marty Brodeur plays for the New Jersey Devils, widely considered maybe the best puck-handling goalie in the NHL, and they look at him as a third defenseman, and it can absolutely kill a forecheck if he wasn't there. Hartford would have possession of the puck, and that's what's so crucial about it. I've been a few times tonight, though, that Kyoto has been dangerously close to Hartford getting the puck and having him out of position. He really needs to watch himself, but he's been good and lucky, but it's been very close in a few instances.
He's been walking that tightrope all series. Ulmer and Endicott, a pair of number 18s lined up against one another. Now Endicott's going to be tossed, and it'll be Peterson against Ulmer. Linesman
pretty tough tonight. A lot of toss-outs. They're not taking any of the usual garbage, if you will, on face-off dog.
Linesman pressuring Nasruddin inside the final minute of the second. Still a couple of bagels on the scoreboard. Pusher gets held up by Kostopoulos. Tootin bumps with Endicott, and that creates an offside situation. Endicott and Tootin staring at one another as they had some stick work going on that last sequence.
You know, there's 48 seconds left in this period as we look at Fedor Tootin, who's just a solid puck-moving defenseman who will have a solid career in the NHL. And we talk about it hasn't been tentative, though, Bob. This period's been aggressive. It's not like they're playing with that tentative, I don't want to lose this hockey game for my teammates. They're playing solid hockey, just haven't been able to get an opportunity to really light up the goalies.
Tootin with plenty of time. Airmails it down to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton line. Nasruddin holds it away from McDonald. Kostopoulos will chase this puck down, but that results in an offside pass call against Wilkes-Barre Scranton. That was just about darned if you do, darned if you don't for Kostopoulos. If he'd let off on that, I think it would have been icing against the Penguins.
Yeah, it's only an issue of about 10 to 15 feet. But Kostopoulos is a guy that really impresses me in terms of his leadership, his work ethic, and he's almost like a Kenny Jernander type in the way he leads his team and plays hockey.
He hasn't been around nearly as long as Jernander, but when you look at Jernander being identified with the Hartford franchise, certainly no one is as closely identified with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins as Kostopoulos. Boileau knocks it down, it dribbles free, but Nasreddine is right there. Kept in by Weller, but he hasn't shoved past him. Over goes Nicolette. His pass hits one of the officials. Now Lampman grabs it loose. His dump in is blocked down. Lampman can't get it across the line. LaRose, though, out battles Lefebvre for it. And off it goes from the stop by Kyoto up into the netting as Moore pushes and shoves. With, I believe that's Guillaume Lefebvre. Yes, it is. And they'll have to be held apart.
Getting back to Kenny Jernander, to give people at home an idea or a context of the turnover at this level, Ken Jernander is the only remaining player from the 2000 team that won the Calder Cup. So that's 4 seasons and almost entire roster turned over.
Moore was headed toward the penalty box for the Wolfpack. Now he doubles back. He's going to go off to the locker room. So it looks like he and Lefebvre have received penalties here with just 3.1 seconds showing on the clock. There you get a look at Ken Jernander. When Mike Richter retired, Jernander officially had the longest continuous service with the New York Rangers organization of any player currently in the organization.
And off the ice, such a quiet guy. On the ice, he's a lead by example type of player, but everyone has so much respect for him. And obviously the organization, when you have a veteran who probably doesn't have much of an NHL career at all in front of him, bring him back year after year, it means they want someone like that to stabilize this franchise and set an example for the younger guys. And in truth, Bob, he's embraced that role and really solidified himself in the Connecticut area.
I should add that Brian Leach actually had more continuous service with the Rangers, but when
Toronto,
he was traded, then it was official. Jernander owned that designation. Now LaRose knocks Penguin defender Matthew to the ice in front of the net. As the period ends, these two clubs will troop off 40 minutes of scoreless hockey as Matthew and Nicolette now have a bit of a discussion. And no doubt this series is going to go down as one of the classic ones in AHL playoff annals, no matter who wins tonight, and nobody's giving an inch.
No, absolutely not. 20 minutes left. You know what the speech is going to be from these coaches. 20 minutes left. It's all you have to play for, and you could either go home or have a chance to win a title. And people might say, well, it's the American Hockey League, it's not the NHL, it's not the Stanley Cup, it's the Calder Cup. But anyone who's ever played a sport, Bob, to win a championship, I don't care if it's Pee-wees. I remember winning a Pee-wee title and getting, you know, sparkling apple juice poured all over you. You win a title, it's just something you really want. Obviously, Corey LaRose took umbrage, one of my favorite words, or took offense with something out front and let a stick do the talking for him. And they're going to sort it out. 2 captains there to make sure that nobody gets short shrift when it comes to the penalties. But, you know, winning a championship is special. Anyone who's won it from Little League or Pee-wees or all the way up to the Stanley Cup and Olympic gold medal, it's still meaningful no matter what level.
You saw the hand gestures there by Wes McCauley as he explains things. More to come from Hartford following a timeout. Still no score at the end of 2. Still no score in this deciding game of the Eastern Conference Finals in the AHL. To the highlights now. And Thomas Sorovi, a guy who spent a lot of time in the NHL this year with a good chance.
Just showing his NHL level strength, battling through it. There haven't been enough forwards tonight battling through it to try to get that opportunity. You saw one right there. And then let's take a look at this. Great play by Dominic Moore. Pokes it past Mr. Ryan Whitney, and then has a beautiful 2-on-1. Nice pass, but Chad Wiseman can't pull the trigger. And that would have been a great opportunity. And then right here, Ouellette with a great shot. And look how Jason LaBarbera snaps up in a position so quickly. And this is a great opportunity by Mr. Giroux. And Andy Kyoto with a flashy save. I think that was labeled for the top corner. At first I thought maybe he was going over the net. As we look at stats through 2 periods, pretty even in a lot of capacity, but I'll tell you that face-off statistic is always skewed a little, Bob, because center ice face-off isn't as important as a defensive or offensive zone face-off. But for this third period, I want to see a goal as a fan, Bob. I want to see a goal quickly, because then the game will open up because another team will be desperate. And I think that's the most important thing to watch for, is how these teams start this period.
Crowded penalty boxes has had a couple of scrums toward the end of the second frame, and matching penalties to the two number 17s, Dominic Moore of the Wolfpack and Guillaume Lefebvre of the Penguins, have only 4 seconds elapsed in them, so they start the third period 4-aside.
Love 4-on-4, great way to start the period. Open ice, and we'll see how aggressive these teams can be.
Kostopoulos able to play it out to center for the Penguins. Pusher gets back. He's joined by Tuch, Bale, and Ulmer on the Wolfpack side. Kostopoulos out there with Endicott, Boileau, and Nasreddine. Shane Endicott has the puck, circling. He's watched by Bale. Kostopoulos can't tip it past Tuch. He nearly put it right in the slot, but Bale was there, and he's got some real estate to work with. Bale gets by Sarovi. Now he gets double teamed by Kostopoulos and Whitney. Kyoto trying to clear it himself, but it hops off the glass and out of play. Fans yelling for a penalty, but that clearly hit the glass before it went out.
Yeah, it did, and we look at Andy Kyoto, who loves to handle that puck, and sometimes he flirts with danger, but when that situation happens, he's going to do it. We talked to some people at Wilkes-Barre. They said he is fearless. He's only 21 years old, but he has no fear. When we talk about a goalie, I mean, they're a little different, Bob. You know that. And his special quality is that fearlessness.
Whitney looking to move it out of there for the Penguins. He's held up by Wiseman. Now it's off of Koltsov's stick. But a lead pass by Nicolette misses connection.
The key when you're 4-on-4 here, especially when you have someone like a Joseph Bale out there, a really skilled guy, get to support the puck well. The guy without it needs it.
Here's a chance in front for Wiseman, but he couldn't get much of a shot away after good digging work by Benoit Dussablon. Here's Whitney through center now, leading at 3-on-2. Whitney to Beach, and he snaps it wide. A one-time shot on the off wing. Beach keeps it alive now. Working against Lampman. Beach, a nice move. Now he hands it off to Koltsov. He circles with it. Now Whitney moves down. Wrist shot right on. Pad save. Rebound. Stuck toward the goal. Barber makes the save on the opportunity by Beach. There's going to be a penalty against Hartford as Wilkes-Barre Scranton came oh so close.
Konstantin Koltsov and Chris Beach, two highly talented players. When they have the room 4-on-4 to get some action done, they are very effective. Beach was great on this shift. You know what? He was out front, point blank, and he was hauled down. And those are the opportunities where if you don't get a goal, oftentimes you get a power play. And Whitney, who sort of the rumor swirling was that he had some sort of wrist injury, can't fire the puck as well as he could in the past, but he still got it on net.
Whitney carrying the puck here, and he'll dish it off to Beach, who had a pretty good opportunity, but missed the net. Boileau off the draw. Has his shot blocked by Tuch. It's currently a 4-on-3 power play. Boileau looking down low. Here's Peterson. Watched by Ulmer. Peterson fans on a pass. Keeps it in though for Malash. He has it banged away. And Ulmer heads out for the Wolfpack. He'll gun it all the way down the ring. Right on goal. And takes a funny hop off of Kyoto, but harmlessly into the corner.
We will look back at this 4-on-3 as crucial no matter which way this game swings, because there's a lot of room on that ice and they had a chance to get something and couldn't even get a shot.
Barber caught out of the net, but the Penguins can't move it in front. It's now a 5-on-4 as the matching penalties to Lefebvre and Moore have expired. Fans angry at the linesman for getting in the way of a clearing try there. Still a power play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Sarovi shoots and that just misses. Rebound to Jernander. And he'll clear it past Boileau and all the way down the ring.
Sarovi lost the stick, wanted a call, did not get it.
Kostopoulos turning with it now. A lead pass to Sarovi. He hands it toward Whitney. It goes under his stick. Whitney keeps it alive. Moore trying to bounce it out. Good play by Sarovi to hold it in. He flips it at the net, but Moore blocks that off. Moore trying desperately to get the puck loose. And now he gets knocked down. Ortmeyer blocking a pass. Beach takes over. He nearly gets his pocket picked by Moore. Now the Wolfpack will have plenty of time down in their own zone.
Dominic Moore, very talented offensive player, hasn't been able to put the puck in the net of late, but he's always dangerous in that quick counterattack.
Whitney has Ortmeyer right on him. Now Scuderi looks up ice. He deals it ahead to Endicott. They'll wrap it hard around the boards. Tootin, the first man to it. Can't get it by Willett, but Pusher able to grab control. He sends a lead pass to Bale. Bale trying to get by Whitney and Scuderi, but he can't. The time starting to run short on this Wilkes-Barre Scranton power play. Willett with a lead pass to Scuderi up for the defense. He can't dump it in. Penalty is over. McDonald carries for the Wolfpack. He's 1-on-3. Long shot is gloved by Kyoto. Kyoto nearly gives it away as he and Nasruddin miscommunicated. Nasruddin chased by the speedy Wiseman. Ulmer can't hold it in. Filipowicz out in center, gets hit by Koltsov. And McDonald dunks it in behind the net. Nasruddin to Colby Armstrong. Pass intercepted by McDonald. He turns it quickly to Ulmer. Ulmer against Nasruddin. Ulmer can't get free for a shot as Armstrong came busting through the slot looking to give him a thump. Endicott unable to clear. Filipowicz down deep from the defense to Wiseman. He's spun around by Endicott. Wiseman knocked down. Still holds it in. Wiseman tries to center. Nasruddin's broken his stick. Here's Weller. Bad angle shot knocked down by Kyoto. And he bumps into the post, causing the net to come off.
That broken stick actually proved a problem for Chad Wiseman. He got clear of the defenseman, but couldn't get clear of the stick to really make a play as we look at Andy Kyoto. And this kid is just so impressive. Look at it right there. He got tripped up there, and then he gets possession of the puck back, and then he wants to go short side with the pass, and the stick just seemed to be in everybody's way on that play.
Weller again firing from everywhere. And watch Colby Armstrong tracking Ulmer. Ulmer saw him in just the nick of time.
That's one of those plays like a Scott Stevens over the middle where you get 100% connection on that. Some people can't recover.
Dussablon and Malage on the draw as things get more and more tense here in Game 7. Dussablon to Nicolette. He can't get it toward the net. Whitney grabs it to Willett. He can't poke it past Nicolette. And Weller throws it back in behind the cage. Kyoto swings it to the far side this time. Lefebvre unable to clear. Nice Lampman held the line that time. Finally, it hops past Weller and out to center ice.
You talk about Kyoto. Sometimes he's handling the puck when he doesn't have to. A lot of goalie coaches will tell you, handle it with a purpose. You have to make sure you know what you're doing with the puck.
Willett pressure by Nicolette. Dussablon looking at center. He does, but it's blocked down by Kyoto. And it'll be cleared toward the line just past Nicolette and ahead to Lefebvre. Only Lampman is back. Lefebvre peels back, looking for some help. Now it's Michel Willett. He backhands it to the corner. Lampman trying to get in Endicott's way. Dussablon there as well. Now Joe Bale takes over. Nice shift to get away from Kostopoulos. Bale takes a return pass and guns a hard drive. It is off of Kyoto's glove, but stays out of the net.
Bale, he was skating himself off angle. That was the last possible point where he could have a really good shot, and he got off some pretty good wood on that.
Kostopoulos and Murray banging. Now Scuderi is forced back. Around to his partner, David Kochi. Dangerous pass across the slot, but he finds Kostopoulos. Here's Peterson now. Peterson working against Pusher. The drop pass to Endicott. His flash is right on. Long rebound in front. Wolfpack can't clear. Held in by Boileau to Kostopoulos. His feet gets through Peterson. And Bale looking to head the other way. Couldn't catch up to the puck. That goes Nasruddin with a long lead pass to Kostopoulos. He'll feed it at the goal, and LaBarbera goes down on top of it with Boileau right on top of it. Remains scoreless in Game 7. Back in a moment. Still scoreless. Joe Bale has a big shot. He nearly overpowered Kyoto there.
Yeah, and Kyoto has a strong glove as well, and he got just enough of it. And here's Shane Endicott, who got better wood than expected. Jason LaBarbera probably gave up a little fat rebound, but he still made the save.
Tootin trying to clear it for the pack off the draw. Wiseman tips it to the middle, but Ulmer can't get to it. Back goes Beach to Koltsov. Hit hard by Pusher. And McDonald's feed misses Ulmer. Now Koltsov rushing. Koltsov a long shot right on. LaBarbera the save. Rebound is loosened. Ulmer back checks to pick it up, and we've got a penalty called here as Koltsov and Tootin came together.
Looks like it's going to be, I believe, a Wilkes-Barre power play. And you can't continue to give them opportunities. As you watch this, Jason LaBarbera again makes the save, but that's the second time in a row he probably gave up a bigger rebound than he wanted to, and you can't say it directly led to Fedor Tutin in that holding call, but if that puck is cleared out, there's no need to even be involved in anything with Konstantin Koltsov.
Holding against Tutin at 6:43. It's going to be the 4th power play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. They win the draw. Peterson to Sorobi. He'll feed it down deep to Beach. Beach, there's one, and it's tipped away in front by Nicollet. A great defensive play, and Ortmeyer will drive it in on net.
In this case, with a 0-0 game, if you have open ice with the puck even down a man, I would hold on to it and try to attack.
2 shots on 3 power plays tonight for the Penguins. Sorobi's lead is too far for Peterson. Nicollet and Peterson digging, and it gets by Beach. A break for the Wolfpack and down the ice. Back goes Boileau to pick it up. He's watched by Jernander. I don't think we've seen a ton of Kenny Jernander at even strength tonight, but he's out there killing the penalty.
He has not been out there as much or a presence, and get some open ice right here.
Once again, the puck squirts out of the pack zone, but Whitney beats Jernander to it. Whitney getting the rush going. Now he's turned back nicely by Bale. Here's a feed to Malash. He nearly fumbles it away. Nice pass to Whitney. He looks for Willett and he finds him. Koltsov and Moore jamming. Nicollet there as well. Now it's to Willett. He's got Whitney over. Whitney shoots, and a big save by LaBarbera. Wolfpack can't get it out. Whitney over to Malash. He'll center one. Koltsov back here to Tutin, and they score! It's wrapped in from the far side by Malash. After a couple of near misses, a power play goal for Wilkes-Barre Scranton, and they've broken a scoreless tie.
Eventually, with the puck popping around from side to side, there's going to be a breakdown with Jason LaBarbera, and they've kept Wilkes-Barre off the score sheet on the man advantage the last 2 games. They were 0 for 7 going into this power play. Ryan Whitney makes this happen, coming in from the point, and then they keep the puck in and watch this cross-ice pass wide open, and it's just a full breakdown by Hartford in their own end.
Koltsov actually backhanded it wide. Looked like Malash was surprised that the puck came to him. Eric Malash has had some huge goals in this series for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. That is his 4th of the 7-game series, and the Hartford Wolfpack are behind now. They haven't come back to win a game in this series. Ulmer's shot goes wide. There's going to be a penalty against the Penguins as Wiseman got knocked down. Tutin with LaBarbera out to the bench. A long shot over the goal. Rebound to the boards, and Pusher bangs with Murley. They roll. Murley touched the puck, and play is stopped. So just after Wilkes-Barre Scranton scored a power play goal, the Wolfpack are going to get a chance on a power play. That goal, Malash from Koltsov and Whitney on the power play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
It's going to be Brooks Orpik hauling down Chad Wiseman. Sorry to cut you off there, Bob. And couldn't be a worse situation to get a penalty in, because you have the momentum. You're going to see a desperate Hartford team. Now you give them an opportunity on a man advantage to get something done, and frankly their power play has been subpar. But you have a great unit with Corey LaRose back from injury, with Joseph Bale, and we'll see what they can do.
And a clearing effort is blocked. Bale tracks it down. He'll rip it around toward Wiseman. He's tied up. LaRose wades in there. Bale loses his stick. And out come the Penguins. A long lead finds Endicott. Only Nicollet is back. LaBarbera makes the save, and he'll cover it up. LaBarbera stood up to make that stop, and he gets a whistle.
And you got Harper a little fortunate there. There was a trailer. If Endicott had pulled up, he might have had a wide open player out in front of the net. Man advantage. Bale loses his stick, and I like this. Take advantage, attack, and out of your screen, there was somebody waiting right out front. But Fedor Tutin is a guy I wanted to watch too there, because he took that penalty that led to that goal, and see what he can do on this power play.
He knocks Lefebvre down now. LaRose has a pass block, but it's right to Nicollet. Back up ahead to LaRose. He nearly collides with Wiseman. LaRose trying desperately to get it deep. Can't do so. But the Penguins unable to clear. Now Nicollet blocks a clearing effort. Nicollet again. Now it's up in the air and still in the zone. Finally whacked to center. And Tutin will backpedal. Feeding for Nicollet, now to Bale. Wolfpack find themselves down 1-0 here. Volley. Trying to get by Matthew, who loses his stick. Now volley to Lampman down for the defense. Centers wide. Big save by Kyoto. Rebound gets blocked. LaRose had the initial shot. Wiseman the rebound. LaRose winding, firing. That goes high and wide. Rebound to volley. To Wiseman behind the net. Back for volley. Wolfpack work it around. Here's Wiseman to LaRose. Back and he's down!
Which anyone who's played the game of hockey, that is so difficult to do that close in. And I love this phrase, and I love to say it, it's a goal scorer's goal. You know, that's just a goal that, unbelievable. Kyoto came out and made that initial great save on Corey LaRose. So confident, so quick. But watch this play right here. I can't see who made the pass behind the net, but that who made the play.
I believe it was Wiseman, who got it over to LaRose, and nothing Kyoto could have done on that one. You've had to be just about perfect to beat these two goalies tonight. And that certainly goes into that category.
Chad Wiseman, when the goalie can't see behind him, he doesn't have side view mirrors, and he saw the flow, and you thought for sure he was going to try to pull it out himself and get a shot. What a brilliant play. I mean, you don't get more prettier goals than that.
That's a nice pair of hands by Corey LaRose. So after playing nearly 2.5 scoreless periods, the two clubs combined for 2 power play goals in a span of less than 2 minutes. A minute 49 to be exact as the puck goes into the Hartford bench. We'll take a break. It's still tied. It's now 1-1. We'll be right back. Corey LaRose, his 4th goal of the playoffs, 3rd of this series at 9:55 from Wiseman and volley. Just a minute 49 after Malash had scored on a Wilkes-Barre Scranton man advantage to break a scoreless deadlock.
Corey talked so much during that intermission how hard it was to miss those 2 games, and now he comes back and has 2 goals in 2 games.
Here's a chance for Orpik, who was in the penalty box when the Wolfpack scored, but his shot is blocked by Ortmeyer, and it's up and out of play.
Orpik has played well, and he's been solid on the blue line. But it was just so unfortunate. You get that 1-goal lead. You want the other team to feel desperate and get that desperation. Came right back, took that penalty, and let the Wolfpack get back in this hockey game.
Well, the face-off here, just inside the Wolfpack line. Brooks Orpik, a guy who played in 79 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. LaRose on the draw against Endicott. Won by Endicott. Orpik blasts it in. Putin can't tip it back up as he jams with Kostaboulos. Volley finally cleared. Orpik pressured by Murray. Now Pusher steps up, but his pass is off of Volley's stick. Kostaboulos a long lead, knocked away by Pusher, but right to Peterson. Pusher catches an edge and falls down. Peterson, a bad angle shot, knocked down by LaBarber. Rebound centered out of front. Endicott fires. LaBarber, a big save. And the rebound is to Pusher. He can't get it out. He comes back in front again. And it's gloved to the near side boards by LaRose. Well, that might have been a penalty in the regular season. The puck bouncing around crazily in the Wolfpack zone. Finally, LaRose gets it out of there.
Shane Endicott had a point blank, literally 8 to 10 feet right out in front. Jason LaBarber stood his ground.
Whitney holds it away from Wiseman. Now, Philippwitz jumps up to block a jump in. Ulmer wrapping it toward the front. It goes wide, tipped in by Wiseman. Orpik on it now. Stripped of the puck by Ulmer, but he gets it right back. And Murray sends it to center to Armstrong. He's 1-on-2, has it poked away by Philippwitz. Armstrong gets it back. Right back out is Ulmer, though. After a big hit by Philippwitz. Wiseman down the wing, shoots one. That goes high and wide. And ends up and over the glass and out of play.
Let's take another look at that point-blank shot by Shane Endicott. Didn't have a whole lot of time in this situation, Bob, but Jason LaBarber stood his ground and showed some great poise. We can take a look at it right here.
It all started when Pusher caught an edge and fell down. Endicott had time to snap that puck, but he couldn't find a space in LaBarber's armor.
The only way to go there is up high. He just couldn't get it up. LaBarber's weakness sometimes, he goes into that butterfly too quickly and leaves the space over his shoulder.
Kochi and McDonald in a big battle. Now Lampman holds it in. He's bottled up by Sorovi. Beach there as well. He comes out of there with it. Beach with a nice lead pass to Koltsov. He's dragged down. Now back out in center with it is McDonald. He'll head off on a shift change.
The most impressive part of this Game 7, Bob, has been that both teams stayed aggressive even when there's so much at stake.
Ortmeyer nearly forces a turnover, but the Penguins get it out. Carrying his Beach. Fakes the drive now. Plays it in deep. Nicolette banging with Koltsov. He gives Koltsov a good bump. Sorovi keeps it alive. Moore bumping him. Now it's cut loose by Moore. He's got Sorovi all over him. Nicolette plays it up the wall. Can't get it out. Koltsov continuing to jam away with Moore. Koltsov gets free. Moore locks him back up. Now Moore trying to flip it out. Goes all the way around to the far side.
When your defense is working so hard and you're 5-on-5, you need to help out your defensemen in the corners.
Here's Giroux on a loose puck. That angle drive is wide. Rebound held in by Moore, who was doing such hard work at the other end. Now Ortmeyer forechecks. Tootin sends it in behind the goal. Kyoto hands it off to Nasreddine. He's got Moore right on it. Now it's to Giroux to Moore. He's out of gas, it looks like. And he'll head toward the bench as the Wolfpack keep it alive. Moore actually stays out there. Matthew able to clear it near the line. And away comes Willett. Into the Wolfpack zone. Oh, shot on goal. LaBarbera will hang on to that.
You know, at this point, Bob, one thing we haven't touched on, both of these teams played an intense Game 6 last night. The Hartford Wolfpack not getting back to Hartford until after 1:30 this morning. In a lot of ways, that momentum was there. You don't feel as much fatigue coming off a win, but at this point in this game, as we look at Michelle Therrien, it's about conditioning, and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins have played a couple more playoff games than Hartford, but both teams still look pretty fresh to me.
And of course, the Wolfpack had that long break before this series started. They were off for 12 days. And at some point, you got to think that helps their legs, but not going to be much good to them, obviously, if they lose tonight's game. LaRose and Endicott on the draw. And they dig away for it. Cut loose by Pusher with a lead pass to Wiseman. He tries to stick handle pass. Whitney, nothing doing. Tootin tipping it into the offensive zone, but Wiseman was well offside.
Whitney just does so many little things so well, and I'm getting a chance to see him play now. And what he did right there, he gave the forward no opportunity to dump it in or make a move because his gap was so tight. We talk about a tight gap in hockey with defensemen. That means keeping your speed going backwards and not giving the forwards a lot of space. Don't give them the blue line. Just a great job out of him.
Not only tied on the scoreboard, tied on the shot clock as well. That's how airtight this series has been. A real shame that one of these teams is going home after this game. Malash able to poke into the offensive zone. Tootin beats Armstrong to it, but Armstrong blocks the clearing try. And he gives Tootin a bump for good measure. Boileau partially fans on a pass, and he hooks Giroux down. And there's going to be a penalty. I didn't think he was going to call it. Whistle blows. And we've got a power play upcoming. We'll take a break and come back with that. Hartford Wolfpack power play coming up here with a game tied at 1.
Alexander Giroux was hooked. And a lot of times the Wilkes-Barre, Michelle Therrien, very upset during the commercial break, thinking that should not have been called.
Both teams have scored on power plays here in the third period. The play offside at the Wilkes-Barre Scranton line. As we get Murley grabbing a handful of Tootin's jersey.
Patrick Boileau called for that hooking call, and you know, it's tough. So much emotion, so much at stake. Hartford finally off the schneid in terms of the power play. They had been 3 for 32 in this series. They only get their 4th power play goal, but we're tied at 1 with a chance here with 5:48 left to take the lead.
Endicott beats LaRose on the draw. Nasreddine forces Nicolette back. Nicolette can't find anybody to pass to. Now he snaps it ahead off of Wiseman. He'll race with Scuderi for it. Wiseman gets Scuderi tied up. Tootin stops a clearing pass. Now LaRose drops it off to Nicolette. He heaves it at the goal. It's blocked by Nasreddine. And settled down by Kostopoulos, who clears it all the way down.
Nice play by Nasreddine. You don't even want to get the puck, let it get to Kyoto and have any rebounds. This is a great group with LaRose, Wiseman, and Bale, but you have to get the puck settled to get anything done.
Murley trying to bull his way toward the net. Centers one, but Malash was in too tight. 3-on-2 the other way. Led by Wiseman. He drops it off to Bale. Penguins do a good job of getting back. Bale finds LaRose to Wiseman. Back for LaRose. He hands to Tootin down to the point. Tootin retreats back. Now over to Pusher, walking in, shooting. That hits a crowded foot. Rebound. LaRose to his backhand, and he partially lands on it. It goes wide. Oh, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins dodged a bullet there.
Just couldn't get a handle. Corey LaRose with a beautiful backhand roof to tie this game. Just slipped out of his reach.
Pusher to Lampman in center ice. He'll wrap it in. Kyoto can't stop it. Ulmer beaten to it. It hops away from Scuderi, but also from Lampman. And out comes Endicott. Endicott dragging some time. Now his drive is blocked. Stolen away by Armstrong. And Moore stops his shot attempt. Here's Pusher with a lead pass to McDonald. He has to stop up. Now he drops back, coughs up the puck. Armstrong only able to tap it in deep, but only 7 seconds remain on the power play.
Chance to maybe get it in deep and get another shot before their fifth guy gets off the bench.
Moore gets held up. Now knocked down. Play allowed to continue. Ulmer to McDonald behind the net. Penalty is over. McDonald trying to cut toward the front. Shoots. Kyoto the save. Rebound to Ulmer. He can't get the trigger pull. Keeps it alive. Ulmer shoots. Stick save by Kyoto. Rebound to Filipowicz. He'll shovel it to Ulmer. He's hit by Kochi. Ulmer goes down. Moore there as well. Moore trying to shed a check. Spins around. Now he deals it toward Ulmer. Back to Dominic Moore. Again to Ulmer. He's got a man right on him.
It's almost
now
like
it's kicked free.
It's almost like the 15th round of a heavyweight fight. They're just taking haymakers. You can see some fatigue, but very much want to keep that pressure in the Wilkes-Barre end.
Nobody there for the Wolfpack on the far side. They're going to get a line change. Out comes Orpik. Orpik trying to stick handle past the defense. His shot goes wide. Rebound to Kostopoulos. He fires LaBarbera, an easy save, and he'll be forced to cover it up. And there'll be a face-off in the Hartford zone.
That was a situation, Bob, that you don't want to take any chances at this point with 3 minutes left. But he actually, LaBarbera was surrounded by 3 of his own men. I love counterattacking in hockey. Ryan McGill has let his team play aggressive. If you have a chance to move the puck and get a breakout, I would have preferred to have done it, but you now have a defensive zone face-off. Andy Kyoto, I can't really talk enough about how impressed I am with this kid. And someday at the age of 21 to show the poise in a Game 7, that goal that was scored on him tonight, not even his fault.
Two relatively young goaltenders here tonight in a real pressurized situation. Both of them have been excellent. Scuderi to Whitney. He's watched by the wily veteran Jernander. Now it's Rob Scuderi to Kostopoulos. He wraps it in behind the goal line. Lampman trying to fend Peterson off. Now it's to Tom Kostopoulos. Held up by Dusablon. Lampman looks for his partner Nicolette. Here's Jernander now. Working it ahead to Dusablon. He can't get it deep. And Tootin will have to move back to his own line. Peterson took a pretty good whack at Tootin, chopped his stick in half. As the Wolfpack dump in. Kyoto can't clear it away from Jernander. Now it's stuffed toward the front by Dusablon, but Scuderi got there quickly.
Unbelievable. Kyoto so dangerous so many times, and he got away with it again.
Now Murley trying to out-battle Bale. Murley tries to center block by Pusher. Pusher behind the net. Able to poke it to the far side, and there's Bale. Bale gets free in center now. He's locked back up. Up steps Lampman. He can't bang it past Boileau. Inside the final 2 minutes of regulation here, tied at 1. Bale stepping down the wing. Bale spins back. Now he'll find LaRose. Back. Here's Giroux now to LaRose. He can't do anything with it. And the Penguins move out. Lampman intercepted pass, but he gives it right to Beach. Beach trying to move around Nicolette. Nicolette rides him off the puck nicely. Bale back checking. Now Nicolette starts the Wolfpack back, but his pass misses LaRose. It goes all the way down. This will be icing. Moving back on it is Orpik, and play is stopped.
You have a face-off now. Wilkes-Barre will get an offensive zone face-off. This is where they are so important as we look at Corey LaRose, because a win or a loss at this draw can determine an offensive opportunity. We have 1:09 left in this hockey game, and one bounce either direction can end it. It's safe to say that if a goal went in at this point, it would probably be decisive. Joseph Bale just showing incredible, the way he can shift speeds, not only with his body, Bob, but also with the puck. That was just a quick stop with his hands to completely reverse the flow in that last play.
Ulmer and Endicott on the draw. And there's the drop. It goes out toward the line, held in by Orpik. Tootin hit by Koltsov. Now Wiseman sends it out of there. Final minute of regulation in Game 7. LaBarbera works it toward Pusher. He can't clear it away. Kostopoulos moving toward the front. Kostopoulos shoot. That's blocked, and out come the Wolfpack with a 3-on-2. Led by Ulmer to McDonald. McDonald sends it back in front toward Ulmer. It goes on goal, and Kyoto makes the save. Wolfpack keep it in, but nobody there behind the net. Orpik takes over. Now Pusher has it hacked past him, but Tootin supports it. Tootin lifts it back ahead toward McDonald. Working hard to poke it in deep in the offensive zone. Can't do so. And looks like he got a whack in the chops from Orpik for good measure. McDonald has a puck in his feet. Tied up by Malash. Ulmer there as well. And we'll get a whistle with 8.1 seconds left in regulation time.
Orpik and Jason McDonald, two guys not afraid to mix it up, and the referee wisely, no harm, no foul. They're both just playing aggressive. Brooks Orpik obviously in the penalty box for the game time goal. And Bob, this is just so exciting. I mean, I go back to adolescence when I get excited, my voice gets a little higher. But even being way up here, you can feel the energy in this building. Game 7, we have 8 seconds left, likely going to overtime where it's one shot for all the marbles.
LaRose and Beach on the draw. There's a drop. Beach drops it back to Boileau. He'll hand it to his partner, Nasruddin. He clears it. And 7 full games have not been enough to decide this series. Game 7 is going to overtime.
We had an overtime game in Game 5, and we said it. These things are so funny, Bob. Sometimes they'll end right away, they'll go on forever. We have every bit the making of a classic. 33-32 Hartford in favor of shots. We've had a great game so far. You could not have asked for anything better.
All the offense came in a span of 1:49 in that third period. Malash scored on a power play for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. LaRose responding for the Wolfpack. We'll be back with more after this, tied 1-1 after 3 complete periods. They're headed into overtime, tied at 1. The series is tied at 3 apiece. 2 goals scored in that third period. Jason LaBarbera and his counterpart Andy Kyoto each beaten once, and it was great puck movement by the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and great stick-to-itiveness by the Wolfpack.
Yeah, it's like those Guinness ads, Bob. Brilliant. Just a lot of, both goals were just the credit to the players. And first, the Penguin goal on the power play. They're moving the puck so well. It's just a breakdown. Goes back to the knee. Ryan Whitney makes the key play here. The cross-ice pass moves all the momentum to the other side. Then it shifts back, and Malash, however you want to say it, there's a beautiful goal. Then Hartford's goal, even better.
The Wolfpack moving it around down deep with a man advantage, and 2 of their most talented players, Corey LaRose and Chad Wiseman, combine on it.
Taking advantage of the net in this situation, you'll see that it's an advantage when the puck's behind the net in the sense that the goalie can't see it and he has to anticipate and look around, and Chad Wiseman uses it to the best of his advantage. The puck will go back down low. It'll switch directions. Watch this. He just touches it over, and LaRose goes up top.
And then Jason LaBarbera forced to make a good save on Endicott, who had the overtime game winner in Game 5.
Yeah, he basically just wanted to go up top on that and beat him over his shoulders. He couldn't get it up.
Here we go, the third overtime game in this series. Each team has won 1. Next goal means the team that scores it is in the Calder Cup Finals.
It's sudden death times 2, Bob. Not only does it end the game, but it ends the series. Times 3, it ends your season.
LaRose wins the draw to Tootin. He's on defense with Pusher, LaRose, Bale, and Murray up front. Murray bumping with Nazardine. Now Bale has it, trying to center block by Boileau, kept in by Tooten. He'll throw it at the goal. It ends up on LaRose's stick. To Bale. He looks toward the front, drops to Tooten. His shot is blocked. And Kostopoulos will start a 3-on-2 for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Peterson down the wing, centers one, and Endicott can't get a tip on it. Held in by Kostopoulos. He fires LaBarbe with a save. Rebound to Tooten, unable to clear, kept in by Kostopoulos. Now Endicott tied up by Pusher in front, and Murray back checks to take it away, and a smart play. He'll take an icing for the Wolfpack.
Two difficult plays by Fedor Tooten. First, he had a shot from the point. He didn't keep it on the ice, and so it was blocked, and they came back the other way. And the second one, you have to get the puck out of your end. He just sort of lazily threw it toward the point, and it was easily kept in and led to another opportunity. That beginning of overtime, very similar to Game 5, was down in Wilkes-Barre's end, and then boom, came back the other way, and Wilkes-Barre almost scored again. I like the aggressiveness on both sides. You have to throw that puck on net. Hartford can't get too cute with it.
Moore wins the draw for the Wolfpack. Out there now with Giroux and Ortmeyer. Ortmeyer bumps it just past Murley. Ortmeyer picks it up again. Ortmeyer long snapshot. Kyoto makes the save in the Wolfpack. We'll have a draw on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton end.
Smart play by Kyoto. Probably could have played it to one side or another, but you know what? You don't want to lose it. Rebounds to the front of the net, especially with three guys coming on. And you look at Ryan McGill, doesn't have a lot of experience at this level in overtime, but clearly his team is well coached. I mean, they have been well disciplined tonight. They haven't taken any really dumb penalties, and I've been very impressed with his game management. You look at coaches, that's how you practice and how you play the games, and he's been great on the bench tonight.
Beach beats Ulmer on the jaw. Scuderi looking to clear. Can't get it by Lampman. He had the overtime game winner for the Pack in Game 2 in Wilkes-Barre. Now Nicolette has it, fans on it, and Lampman will have to hustle back. Way out comes LaBarbe. He's going to hand it off to Lampman. He'll go off the inboards to Nicolette. He wires it back around to Wiseman, now to Ulmer. He gains the red line and dumps it in. Kochi digging with McDonald. McDonald held up by Kochi. Kochi runs him into the corner boards. Wiseman there as well. Wiseman hooks it loose. Bottled up by Beach. Now it's McDonald. Stuffing it back to Wiseman. Here's Ulmer turning. Ulmer held up by big David Kochi. Both go down. The puck underneath them. Wiseman trying to hook it loose. He does to McDonald. McDonald spinning. He'll shoot. Blocked by Kochi. Rebound. Loose on the doorstep. They whack away at it and it slides wide. Now Wiseman tries to fire it in front. That hits a stick and goes way up in the air. Held in by Jeff Paul. Wiseman in behind the net. Has it taken away by Scuderi. Held in by Paul. Now Wiseman booked off the puck by Kochi. Beach looking to clear, and Sorobi tips it out.
It's great pressure by Hartford, but all the cycling in the world doesn't do you good. You got to eventually get that puck to the net. Jason McDonald, I thought, had a chance to really get a puck on net and didn't get it done. Two-line
offside pass called against the Wolfpack. There's Garth Murray. He's had a chance the last two games to play with Joseph Bale and Corey LaRose.
He's been so impressive. You want to have a compliment. It's like that old Nintendo game where you had the fat guy, the medium guy, and the small guy. You need somebody to play their role, Bob. What he does, he forechecks so aggressively. I love the way he is so aggressive in that offensive end.
Here's Ulmer with his helmet knocked off, and McDonald whacking away at a loose puck right in Kyoto's kitchen. They couldn't jam it home.
Yeah, you want to create as much traffic as possible. The odds are the goal that wins this game will be ugly, and it might come off a breakdown, so you want to give Kyoto a lot of traffic.
Moore wins the draw to Tooten. He'll sky it up in the air. First man to it is Nazardine. It deflects off Ortmeyer to Jernander. He can't get it to sit down. And Murley will work it to center. Malaz chasing a loose puck. He beats Pusher to it. Pusher blocks the centering pass. Moore back checking. Can't get it out past Armstrong. Now we've got a whistle. And I'm not quite sure why they blew that play down, but they'll have a face-off upcoming in the Hartford zone. Oh, the net came off. That was why.
Slightly off. It's Mooring. We'll have a defensive zone face-off for Hartford. I talked about it at the intermission. We look at Kenny Jernander. Hasn't been getting the ice time tonight. We're not sure if he's hurt or they're just trying to save him as he goes off the ice. This face-off, this is one of those where it's important. The statistics are important because a win for Wilkes-Barre means most likely an offensive opportunity.
Moore and Malash on the draw. get it dropped. Moore's going to be tossed out.
Linesmen have been very, very strict tonight about the rules in the face-off circle.
Giroux in there for the pack. He wins it cleanly. Pusher sends it around to Ortmeyer. He finds Moore. Moore trying to get loose. Backhands it through the slot. It goes untouched. And a 2-on-1 develops the other way. Murley has Armstrong with him. Murley holding. Murley sends it over Armstrong. And he bans on it. Holy smoke. That was a close call. Now back on the Wolfpack. And the lead pass to Giroux. Sees him drive the puck wide. I thought that was going to be called dead on a 2-line pass. Giroux trying to poke it in front. Can't do so. And Orpik will move it out for the Penguins. To Armstrong. Murley down left wing. Murley centers, but it gets through Armstrong. And a pack player is dragged down, allowing Orpik to keep it in. Armstrong swings it over to the near wall. Now Peterson shot his way wide. Rebound gathered in by Nicolette. And he'll play it toward the line, not quite out. Kicked to center by Wiseman. But taken right back by Endicott. Gustavoulis has a pass block, but it carries ahead to Peterson. Peterson tries to dish it back to Gustavoulis. Bale can't get it out. Now it's controlled by Nicolette. His pass blocked by Gustavoulis, but it trickles just out to center. Now Nasruddin will be forced back. Bale pressuring Nasruddin. Boileau now able to send Gustavoulis towards center. He feeds to the middle to Endicott. Crossing with Peterson. Peterson has it whacked away by Bale, but Peterson will stay with it. Hit by Filipowicz. Now LaRose in there as well. LaRose gets loose, held up by Gustavoulis. And Whitney can't keep it in.
Nice play by LaRose. Didn't connect on a stick-to-stick pass, but he knew he was in trouble. Just wanted to gain his own and get the puck out.
Lefebvre will stuff it down wide of the Wolfpack net. Looks like an icing call. And it is as Filipowicz touches up.
Let's try to take a look at that 2-on-1 break again. Feder Tootin, I know he wanted to get up in the play with the offensive end, but he got caught up ice in transition. Ryan McGill probably got a few more salt in that pepper of a haircut. Watch this right here. Just missed it through his legs. He might have got tipped by Tootin coming back. Nice job back checking, but Jamie Pusher in a tough spot right there. Nice saucer pass, just didn't come down flat enough for him in time, and that was a scare for Hartford Wolfpack fans.
Moore and Matthew on the draw, deep in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton end. Moore wins it. Here's Tootin with a long shot, that's blocked. Rebound controlled by Kochi. He swings it around toward Ouellette. Nice job to get away from Giroux. Tootin falls down. Still able to work the puck to Ortmeyer though. It's gloved out by Scuderi. Taken back by Ortmeyer. Pusher poking it into the Penguin zone, but it's cleared right back out by Kochi. Matthews lead pass blocked by Ortmeyer. He'll send it to Moore. Whistle blows and the Wolfpack were offside.
Seems like in this overtime, Bob, you're seeing a little more, not passive, but waiting for a turnover, an attack in transition, and that's how they want to play it. They don't want to make mistakes of aggression. They want to wait for a mistake and then attack on the transition.
Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins have already set an American Hockey League record for most overtimes in a single playoff year. This is their 9th trip to extra time. They're
4-4, whereas Hartford was 4-0 before that Game 5 loss with that Shane Endicott winner. So Hartford has a little bit of advantage in that department, but Wilkes-Barre with the experience.
Koltsov has a pass blocked by Nicolette. To McDonald. He gets held up. McDonald trying to keep it alive. Beach defending. And they failed to start the clock here. Now they get it going. You might have to reset that. Wiseman banging with Whitney. Now Orpik has time. He can't get it out. Held in by McDonald. McDonald toward the net. McDonald over to Wiseman. He fans on the shot. And Kyoto would have had a hard time stopping that. Sliding to his left. Here's Beach trying to clear it, and he does.
Went off the heel of Wiseman's stick. He was backing up. In some ways a perfect situation, but you have to, those one-timers, you have to time them perfectly because your balance is what gives the momentum of the shot, and Wiseman just could not pull the trigger. If you watch it, a beautiful pass by McDonald off the turnover, like I said, transition and attack, and off the heel of his stick. Oh, that was so close. If he got that up high, Kyoto would have had a really tough time getting it, although he's a very, very quick goaltender.
McDonald had to put a lot of mustard on that pass to get it through. Icing called against Wilkes-Barre Scranton with a face-off to Kyoto's right.
Corey LaRose has been so huge tonight with that backhand goal to tie up this hockey game.
He wins the draw here cleanly. Long drive goes wide. LaRose got knocked down in front. There's not going to be any penalty call. Valle keeps the puck alive. Murray tries to whip it toward the front. It gets blocked down loose in front of the goal now, and it'll be cleared by Boileau. Tootin for the pack. To LaRose. He'll tip it down deep. Valle pressuring Boileau. Now they're going to say that nobody got a stick on it in the neutral zone for Hartford, and it's icing against the pack.
In a lot of the offensive situations, we look at Joseph Valle and Patrick Boileau. A lot of the opportunities, they're not just throwing the puck on the net, hoping for the best. Of course, any bounce can end this hockey game, but a guy like Joseph Valle is going to try to do something. Corey Lewis is going to try to do something with the puck, because that's what they are. They're skilled players, but it's 50-50, Bob. I mean, you want to just shoot the puck, but you also want to make sure you hold on to it and keep possession, keep pressure.
Moore and Endicott on the face-off. And it's won by Moore. Tootin held up, though, and he can't get it out now. Ortmeyer whacks at it. Held in by a combination of Nasruddin and Endicott. Busher now to Tootin, and he tips it out of trouble.
At this point, fitness very much a factor. You have to make sure little things that sound silly. Take water, stretch. They all try to drive their equipment in the locker room in between periods. Got to stay fresh.
Endicott a long shot, and LaBarbera assaults it away in the glove. He will hang on.
Now the difference here, during the American League hockey season, Bob, there aren't a lot of television games, so they don't have a lot of TV timeouts. This is more the pace that they play as we look at that opportunity. Pretty standard save, I'd say, by Jason LaBarbera. In position, he's in his butterfly, and he ties it up. But at this point, this is how the pace of a normal American League game is, but it's different because they're used to having these games televised the last week or so, and they don't get as much a breather.
Dusablon and Malash on a draw here, won by Dusablon. Lampman hands it around to Weller. Weller gets help from Nicolette, but he can't clear it out. Murley, bumped by Weller. Puck squirts free, and Dusablon jumps on it for the Wolfpack. He's dragged down by Malash, and it goes out of play as the Penguins try to dump it back in. I think you're going to have to commit a fairly grievous foul here in overtime of Game 7 to get called for a penalty.
Nobody, including the referees, wants a penalty or a power play to determine this series. But at the same time, if something egregious did happen, they would have to call it. But it has to be something completely blatant. What he did right there is he just sort of, you call that a slew foot, but not in the worst way. He just sort of kicked his feet from under him, but it has to be worse than that to get a man advantage at this point in the season in overtime.
Wilkes-Barre Scranton controls, and Sorobi will poke it into the Hartford zone. Nicolette circling the cage, and he sends Ulmer away to center. McDonald and Wiseman into pressure, but the puck is cleared past Wiseman, and back on the Penguins. 3-on-2 if they hurry. A feed finds Koltsov, and they say it was offside. It wasn't off by much. And the Penguins still drive the net hard on LaBarbera.
That was very close. Probably a pretty good call. Konstantin Koltsov, who played the entire season up with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's played a lot of hockey, and one thing I wanted to point out, you might not see in overtime with the fatigue factor so many 3-on-2 breaks and big rushes, but Koltsov just steaming through the middle, had a lot of pop in his stride even this late in this game. They played a lot of hockey in the last 24 hours.
Koltsov had the game winner in the first round for Wilkes-Barre Scranton in a Game 7 overtime situation. That was against the Bridgeport Sound Tigers just down the road at the arena at Harbor Yard in Bridgeport.
Yeah, they've had a lot of success in Game 7s in Connecticut, and obviously Hartford wants to make that a 1-1 situation, make them 1 win and 1 loss in Game 7s in Connecticut this postseason. Wolfpack
have never lost a Game 7. And one of their Game 7 wins was in the conference final in 1999-2000 in overtime. Play down deep in the Wolfpack zone. 4-player pile up behind the goal. Now it's worked free by LaRose. He'll clear toward the line and out. Wiseman chases it, but he's going to be beaten to it by Nasruddin. Paul forced back. He's on defense here with Filipowicz. Valle can't bang it past Nasruddin.
It's been stuck in the neutral a little bit, Bob. You really want to try to get the puck in deep and establish a forecheck, but I can see a little bit of fatigue being a factor now on both sides.
Pusher able to clear it for the Wolfpack. Whitney grabs it right back for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Boileau flips it in. Filipowicz for the pack, has Matthew coming from the backside. And this is going to be an icing call against the pack, it looks like. Fans aren't terribly happy about that as Whitney touches up.
Well, it looked like he was making a pass along the boards. It was one Wilkes-Barre player, one Hartford player, but the puck went through cleanly. They called an icing. We look at Ryan Whitney and Fedortun. Fedortun he's had an up and down game. He's obviously an extremely talented player, has huge upside in the future in the NHL. But he got caught up ice on that 2-on-1 in overtime, and you want to make sure you make the safe and easy play while you're also trying to work to get the win.
Busablan and Malash on the draw here. And it's tipped in behind the net, taken in there by Pusher. He has trouble with it. Now banging up the wall. Jornander can't tip it out. Long shot by Orpik is on goal. LaBarbera makes the save. Wolfpack again, can't clear. Now Pusher stops a centering try, but it slides through to LaBarbera. Good job by Pusher there to play the man and not the puck, and LaBarbera took care of the biscuit.
Right, any coach out there, they tell their team, you turn and face, take care of the body, and protect, let the goalie handle the puck. Jamie Pusher has played a lot of NHL games, a great addition to this team, Bob, giving them some veteran presence on the blue line. Probably has lost a step from his prime, but he's big, he's strong, and he's smart.
Over 500 NHL games to his credit. Matthew wins the draw here. They bang for it. Pack can't get it out. Now it comes to Marquis Matthew. He centers one. Intercepted in front by Jornander. He'll lead the Wolfpack out. Jornander tips it in deep. Murray into forecheck on Whitney. Now Lefebvre takes the puck. He's held up. Still able to clear it though. Matthew hit by Murray after Dusamon went down. Nicolette now circles. With a quick pass to Murray, he'll tip it in behind the cage as the Wolfpack go for a line change.
They get some fresh legs out there. They have not been able to establish a forecheck. What you've basically had is that they've had it in their D zone. They get it in to the offensive zone just to get a change, not to establish a forecheck.
Nicolette has to wait for teammates to get onside. Kyoto handles the puck. Whitney feeding toward Willett. He gets it just out to center. Lampman now to Nicolette. Here's Ulmer poking into the offensive end. Ulmer blocks a clearing effort, throws it toward the front, but it was behind Wiseman. Taken up by Willett, now to Beach. Trying to get by Lampman. Lampman pushes him off the puck. Nicolette battles with Koltsov. Koltsov gets loose. Koltsov throws it across to Kochi. Long shot. LaBarbera the save. Rebound kept in by Beach. He drops it back to Kochi. He fans on the pass, or rather the shot. Now it's kept in by Sorovi after Elmer went down. And Koltsov on the doorstep. Can't get a shot away. Beach is held up. And Wiseman will clear toward the line. Not quite out. Now Wiseman intercepts a pass. And he will fire it down the ring for the pack. And it's on goal. There's no icing.
That puck was loose in front of Jason LaBarbera. That was a scary moment for the Wolfpack.
Now the play offside at the Hartford Wolfpack line as players mill around after the whistle.
That was pretty intense stuff. Hartford having a tough time getting the puck out, and there was a bit of a breakdown. Let's take another look at it. All the Hartford players, the point was wide open. Kochi fans on it. That wouldn't have been a penalty, and they pick it up, go right for the net. Sorovi, they got blocked, and Koltsov almost had it. That puck was loose in front of LaBarbera, but Koltsov could not keep his feet.
LaRose and Endicott on this draw. LaRose out on this shift with Bale and Giroux. Tons of skill for the Wolfpack. Nazardine for Wilkes-Barre Scranton. Now it's Endicott. To Kostopoulos. Long blast. LaBarbera the save. Rebound to Endicott. He can't get it in front. Paul unable to clear. Now it's centered up. Bale intercepts. He'll lead the Wolfpack up. Bale scoops it ahead to LaRose. Tries to pass Nazardine. LaRose shoots and that goes wide. I don't think he quite got that puck to settle down for him. Pusher keeps it in, but Waddle blocks his pass.
You're right, the puck was on edge and he couldn't get good wood. I think Wilkes-Barre fans were a little upset. He grasped the puck, but he still went in basically alone.
Pusher sliding it toward Giroux. Who's going to win the race here? Waddle does, and it's icing against the Wolfpack.
Oh, that was an exciting sequence. Both teams had legitimate chances for the most part. Wilkes-Barre has had the flow of play in this overtime, but when you have Bale out there with LaRose, anything can happen, and it's been in fits and spells. I think you feel like they rest up and then they go for it again. Ryan McGill having to deal with some tired players. And Kenny Jernander might not be 100%. He's only seen spot time so far, so it's going to be a player like a Joseph Ballet or a Dominic Moore, who has not been heard from in the score sheet. He's played some good hockey, but has not connected so far. We might see something from him.
And he beats Malash on the draw here. Ortmeyer to Tootin behind the net. Tootin looks for Jernander. It hops over his stick. Armstrong trying to stuff it into the Wolfpack zone, but it's cut off by Jernander to Pusher. Now to Moore. He'll stuff it in deep. Whitney, the first man to it.
What you're seeing now, Bob, is because they're not going to get a lot of penalties called, there's a little more clutching and grabbing, a little more holding, because they know they can get away with it. And when you're this tired and you get slowed down a little bit, it makes such a dramatic effect, and you're trying to move the puck.
Ortmeyer sends in, but Murray can't fight his way past Orpik. Now Murray forces Whitney back. Whitney able to bang it out off the boards. It rolls all the way down. It's going to be wide of the net. This will be icing. Lampman touches up, and it'll be a face-off in the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguin zone.
Just missed going through the crease. Of course, if it goes through the crease, the icing is waved off. As we take a look at Guillaume Lefebvre, he's obviously French-Canadian. It's a good classic French-Canadian name, but he hasn't figured too much in the offense tonight. But Michel Therrien, obviously, he's French-Canadian. There's a lot of French-Canadian players on this team, and he's comfortable with that because when he coached with Montreal, and I believe it might have been the Quebec Citadels, I'm not sure, his AHL team.
And the Fredericton Canadiens.
Yeah, and so he's used to that, and the Montreal Canadiens always like to have a good core of French-Canadians in their franchise.
LaRose tracking the puck off the draw. Now Costapos trying to hold it away from Giroux. Can't do so. Giroux centering pass is blocked up in the air. Well, they can't get to it. Held in by Giroux. He turns and fires, and that goes wide. Held in by Nicolette. Now Ballet unable to get it deep. It's back to Nicolette. Throws it to go. Tipped off the side of the net by LaRose. Now Ballet and Giroux working hard. LaRose battling with Boileau. Giroux turns behind the goal. He lost the puck. LaRose keeps it alive. Swings it all the way around to the near side. Nicolette crashes down. Keeps it in against Peterson. Now it's taken off by Costapos, and out come the Penguins. Costapos held up by Nicolette. Costapos still able to dump it in.
Nice job by Joseph Ballet to cover for Nicolette just in case he got in trouble on that pinch. Good teammate right there.
Almer misses on a puck in center ice. Lefebvre to Matthew. Centering one. And it's tipped high and wide by Willett, who was crashing hard toward the goal. Almer can't clear. Matthew a long drive through traffic, missing wide. Now coach, you have to hold it in. He'll throw it to the front of the Gallo, and it's blocked down by LaBarbera, who holds on.
That rattled between his legs, Bob. That was not clean. If that was on a different angle, it might have squeezed through his legs, but he got enough of the shot to make the save. Some good up and down action. Like I said, there's a pause, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a spurt. Willett definitely got contact on that pass to the middle, and that was close.
It was Matthew with the backhanded pass, and LaBarbera stuck out the stick and knocked it away before the pass arrived, I think. Almer and Beach on the draw, one by Almer. Shooting drives it hard around the boards, and it nearly deflected right to McDonald. Taken off by Orpik. LaBarbera will stop it off now for Tootin. He's unable to clear. Whitney can't get it down deep, and he nearly held it in again, but they say it went outside the line.
I don't know, do you think I'm overstating? And I've just been very impressed with Ryan Whitney for someone who should be going into his senior year in college, turned pro, and he's been really helping this team.
He's been everything advertised and more. A guy that the Pittsburgh Penguins have to be awfully excited about. Whitney was drafted 5th overall in the 2002 entry draft after his freshman year at Boston University. We got a center ice draw now between Dusablon and Malash.
So funny to see him across from Brooks Orpik, such enemies with BU and BC, one of the biggest rivalries in college hockey.
Busher controlling things for the Wolfpack. Can't get it by Armstrong. He'll throw it to the front of the score! It's tipped in by Murray through the legs of Jason LaBarbera, and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins have won the game. They're going to the Calder Cup Finals. Oh man, a long flip from the line. Got tipped through the wickets of LaBarbera, and the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins have put Hartford Wolfpack won. The Wolfpack season ends in stunning fashion. And the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins are headed to the Calder Cup Finals to battle the Milwaukee Admirals. It's a downcast group on the Hartford Wolfpack bench, and in direct contrast in the corner over near the entrance to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins locker room, the Penguins mob one another, and what a tough ending for Jason LaBarbera, who saw that shot deflected through his legs by Murley after the long flip from the line. And Andy Chiodo gets the win. The Penguins dominating the overtime session with 10 shots to the Wolfpack's 3 unofficially, and they have won this series in overtime of Game 7. And Matt Murley is the hero, trailed only a little bit by that guy Andy Chiodo, the rookie goaltender, who once again played superbly here tonight. Murley the goal, and the lone assist to Colby Armstrong at 13:21 of overtime. And now we get the ceremonial handshake as these two clubs who battled each other so hard through 7 games and more than half of another overtime say congratulations and good luck. And what a run it's been for the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. They were down 3-1 in the first round against Bridgeport, came back and won that series. Also in an overtime in Game 7. And now, after letting a 3-2 lead slip away in this series and being forced into a Game 7 here in Hartford, they outlast the Wolfpack. 2-1 your final here tonight. And as happens so many times in overtime, it was a fairly innocent looking play with a puck just being heaved toward the front of the net. Murley got a deflection on it, and it went through the legs of Jason LaBarbera. Michel Therrien, the victorious coach, going through the congratulations line, and there's Chiodo accepting a congratulatory hug from another one of his teammates, Boileau. Chiodo backstopping the Penguins to his 3rd win of this series. Sebastien Caron won the other one, and there's a big throng of Penguin supporters that made the trek from Northeast Pennsylvania here to Hartford to cheer their team on. And for the 2nd time in their history, the Penguins are headed to the Calder Cup Finals. Pusher had it behind the net. He tried to rim it out. It was knocked down by Armstrong. He just slid it toward the front, and Murley got the tip on it. Looked to surprise LaBarbera, and Murley started right down the runway. That was kind of funny. But Armstrong, who didn't have a lot of points in this series but was a big factor, made the play toward the front of the net. Now we're going to send it down to ice level. Brian Shackman is down there with Wolfpack head coach Ryan McGill. Brian?
I'm with Coach McGill. Coach McGill, it's hard to put your emotions into words. What are you going to tell your team in the locker room after such a crushing loss?
I don't know right now. It's been a very disappointing finish to our season. Not very, it's a very disappointing way to finish, and I'm out of words right now, I'll be honest with you.
Such a great effort by the team tonight. Obviously, they responded, went down a goal. It's not like they got outworked or out-hustled in any phase of the game. It's just a question of one bounce went the other team's way.
No, you're right, and that's what's going to happen in playoff hockey. Wilkes-Barre got the puck in our end, and obviously we didn't make the best play, and they just got it right back to the net. Lucky bounce went in the net.
Some motivation for you. Now you've made such a huge jump from year 1 to year 2. I know it's disappointing, but you've made a lot of great strides with this program in Hartford and with the Rangers, and you have to feel good about that at least.
Not right now, I don't, but maybe in a couple of weeks or a month it might settle in, but this is a pretty bitter pill to swallow.
Coach, thanks for taking the time after a loss. Bob, back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Brian. And Ryan McGill clearly crushed it, as I'm sure everyone is in that Hartford Wolfpack locker room. They were the team that tied for the top spot overall in the AHL during the regular season, and fully expected after they had won that Game 6 last night in Wilkes-Barre to be headed to the finals after Game 7 on home ice, but it's not the way it happened. LaBarbera stopping the puck. This is the winner again pusher trying to bang it out, but clearly Armstrong easily able to anticipate that, and the Wolfpack defense unable to get Murley tied up in front. He got the redirection. It was kind of interesting as you see the reaction of the Wolfpack bench. I don't think Murley even realized the puck was in. His back was to the play. When he saw his teammates' reaction, he joined the celebration. Not much of a shot on that, but so many times it's not on an overtime game winner. And now Brian Shankman is with the man who's the hero of this Game 7 win, Matt Murley. Brian?
Matt Murley is just out of breath. He's probably being cascaded by his teammates. Take us through the play and what was going through your mind.
I was just standing in front. I saw Colby with the puck, so I stayed in front. And he took a great shot. I was lucky enough to get my stick on it, and I didn't even know it passed the goalie until everybody was going nuts. And just an incredible feeling. And Colby made the great play.
You want to go right into the locker room right after the goal. You just want to skate right off the ice. It seems like a pretty tight bunch in that Wilkes-Barre locker room. And what does this mean to your team?
It's just really exciting. And, you know, we've worked so hard all year and all playoffs. Come back from 3-1 in the first series, play our biggest rival the second series, and then go 7 games here. It's just it's a great feeling, and our team's just building the chemistry every series.
Now you're 2-0 in Game 7 in Connecticut. You beat Bridgeport down there. Talk about the intensity of a Game 7. Is it like anything you've ever experienced in the game of hockey?
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, I played one in juniors, but that doesn't even come close to that is in pro hockey. Every little play could turn the game, and every little mistake you make could cost your team the game. And it's just, it's unbelievable. It's what every hockey player dreams of.
Specifically, what makes this Wilkes-Barre team so special? You have such incredible fan support, and now you come through with this Game 7 victory on to the Calder Cup Finals.
It's a combination of everything. Like our players, we all get along really well, and we have great chemistry. We probably have the 2 best coaches in the league, in Michelle and Mike Yo, and you know, they put a great system in there for us, and we just go out and execute it. And when we're at home, and even when we're on the road, we have great fan support. So it's a combination of everything.
Thank you very much,
right.
Matt Murley, the game winner in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Bob, back to you.
Thanks, Brian. Great job down there. There's your schedule. It begins Tuesday in Milwaukee. They go back-to-back games 1 and 2 Tuesday, Wednesday. Then it's the 2-3-2 format. Friday, Sunday, and Monday in Wilkes-Barre. They have to get the games out of the way quickly because there's a circus coming into the Wachovia Arena at Casey Plaza in Wilkes-Barre. Game 5 Monday, if it goes that far. Game 6 and 7 would be back in Milwaukee Friday and Saturday. So pretty tight schedule in that series. It'll be interesting to see if one team can get the momentum and really take advantage of that. But congratulations to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins and head coach Michel Therrien, the game winner from Matt Murley. On to the Calder Cup Finals. The Wolfpack lose for the first time in their history in a Game 7 on this goal. Colby Armstrong throwing it toward the net, and Matt Murley deflecting it home. That does it for the Hartford Wolfpack season, which has been a great one here in the 2003-04 campaign. After a first-place finish in the Eastern Conference during the regular season. Thanks so much for being with us throughout this playoff series. Hope you've enjoyed all the great action. And thanks to our terrific crew and my broadcast partner tonight, Brian Shankman. This is Bob Crawford thanking you so much for watching. And here's wishing you a very pleasant good night.